It's me, Mr. Mario, and who do I got with me here?
Paranoid Coder, you know I couldn't miss the last episode, man. I gotta be here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you being here.
I'm psyched, man. This is like the episode of the year.
Yes.
Where we have like a grand old time. Not that we don't always. But.
Yes, it is, and it is the last episode of the year as well too.
Absolutely.
So ModChat's been going on. You haven't been on for as long, but ModChat's been going on for about 40 years now at this point.
That's crazy, man.
I know. Sometimes I wonder what the hell I do with my life.
I haven't looked. I don't remember exactly when I actually came on, but I think it's been over a year and a half.
Yes,
now.
it has been.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
I feel good to be like part of that much of the lifespan. So.
It's awesome, yeah, and it's definitely welcome. And for anybody who's checking out the visual here, if you're freaking out saying, "Oh my God, you all are talking and nothing's happening on the screen," relax. It's all good. We're just trying to, work with the delay a little bit, kind of building up some things because we got a few things to talk about here, right?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
it's a good time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, this episode's special for a few reasons. One of them is, should we? You think we should show them?
Let's do it. The big reveal.
All right. The big reveal. All right. Yeah, I guess people are saying we're not supposed to see. Well, you're going to see now. Check this out. Hashtag table chat happened. Table chat. We got a new table. Look, we got all this space for activities.
Oh, dude, it's good.
Yeah, dude, it's great. Yeah, we got your
screw activities. I have space to like maneuver and actually like be in a good position.
Exactly. Look, all right. Like it used to be, we had the $80 IKEA table, and now we got this thing. We've moved up in life.
Right, man.
Yeah,
it's good. It's classy. And you can't see it all, but it does fit with your kitchen, your environment. Does. Like it looks good, man.
It does.
So it's a good investment overall.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, for anybody who's been watching for the past few months, we know that we've kind of been memeing the whole table chat thing, where we've been talking about getting a new table for a long time, and we finally did.
Yes. Yeah, you did. We were gonna go table shopping, and things came up. And,
yeah. Well, you had a commitment that you found out that was serious, but like before all of this.
It was like a last minute commitment. So like, it was a complicated thing, but we're good. Everyone's healthy. We have tables.
Exactly. Yeah, tables now, because the old table is now in my office.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is it like functional, or is it just kind of sitting there?
Both.
Yeah.
It's functional and it stores things.
Good. So
yeah. And some good shit, yeah. On top of that, I mean, we're getting festive this season as well, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Had to get festive for this. And this thing we talked about on the last episode, this is going to be a bit of a drinking episode as well, too. So everyone, respect your local drinking laws. Drink responsibly. We're all 21 here at the table.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, everyone in this house is over 21, even my dog at this point. I think my dog is technically, in dog years, the oldest person in this house.
Shouldn't act like it.
I know, she doesn't at all.
She's reaping the benefits of like that innocent face.
Absolutely.
That's what I'd do if I was like Benjamin Button or whatever.
Man. Soulja table here. Oh my God.
There we go, man.
Shout out Jason for that.
Foreshadowing a little bit.
Yeah. So Dintron is asking here, what are we drinking? So I myself, because I don't like alcohol, I'm kind of hypersensitive to the taste of it, and I'm just not a drinker if you know me personally. So I had to get Angry Orchard hard cider, which is pretty much kind of spiked adult apple juice, and it tastes real nice.
Yeah. I got over here some Captain Morgan, some relatively cheap rum, nothing fancy. Some eggnog, so we're making some spiked eggnog with the thought juice on deck. We out here. Let's go.
And one more thing, I had seen like one or two people get it. They weren't complaints, but it was disappointment that MVG is not here, and he was never going to be on this episode.
No,
but I want to accommodate a little bit. So, here we go.
What's that swag?
Oh, this is the MVG swag.
Oh, man, you should go cop it.
Straight from MVG himself. Yeah, if you actually... Let me just toss this over here. There we go. So, see, MVG, if you can kind of see it through the mic, MVG is here. MVG is a part of us.
In spirit.
Yeah.
In spirit.
If you do want to get one of these, not sponsored by MVG at all, Modern Vintage Gamer, but if you do want to get one of these, you can subscribe to his Patreon, and if you donate over $10, you get one of these shirts.
Yeah, man, well worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, $10 for a shirt isn't even that bad, especially if you're going for something from a creator.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I was going to say, when I looked at that, I was like, are you serious? Like, only 10... I thought it was going to be like a $25 thing, but yeah, only $10.
And you put it on, and you were kind of like, oh, yeah, it's not bad. It's a pretty good shirt.
Yeah. I've definitely worn a lot worse for things that I've paid a lot more for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, so definitely go and cop that stuff. It's
absolutely
well worth it going to a good place. And you guys are obviously fans, and we're going to have him back on.
We will.
I'm sure he would love to see in the chat, like, hey, I copped your stuff. Hey, I'm on Patreon. Well, give him some love when he comes back. Give him something to look forward to.
Absolutely. So this episode, now getting into the actual episode, topic here, so to speak. Now, normally, historically, we'll do just a straight up Q&A episode for the last episode of the year. We're not doing that fully this time around because we decided we're going to go in with a few topics. So we did keep it slim. So there's going to be stuff that happened this month, obviously, that we're not going to be talking about. But there's just kind of a few highlights we want to go over. And then we'll get into, the typical end of the year episode.
Yeah, sounds good.
So yeah. Hopefully that sounds good with everyone here.
Let's get it going, man.
Let's get it going.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. And Devin, what is the first thing that we're going to be talking about here today?
Oh, I don't know. There was a little thing that came out that got some flack, but it's kind of cool. It's the PlayStation Classic.
It is the PlayStation Classic.
We got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about it.
Absolutely. Should I take this one, or
if you want to, go ahead, man.
Sum it up and all that. So this is not going to be anything that's going to be as intensive as anything else. It's not going to be like a full-on review, this article that we're citing here. But this is, summing up the initial things pretty well, the initial excitement from Wolo. The PlayStation Classic has been hacked 3 mere days after its release. And here, I don't think, Dev and I have been talking about this. I don't think the Doom stuff has been released, unfortunately.
No, and I tried to do a quick Google search, and admittedly, it was a little bit hard. The SEO on that is not good. There's a lot of stuff about like the PS3 playing Doom and a bunch of other things. But yeah, I couldn't find anything about anything related to this that actually being released directly related to this.
Unfortunately, yeah. So I'm hoping that we do actually see the Doom release on here, but it was a nice proof of concept, absolutely. But this kind of just goes into, I know Yifan Liu was the one who was taking a look at this. There's already been, this I believe was the first video that got out here, and I had shown this in my review as well too, where it was a gentleman who obviously has everything loading up through UART here and manually ended up loading in a disk image to get this to boot up. So someone here ended up getting that going. Yifan Liu ended up getting it going as well too, and that was that was on Wednesday. So the third day it was on the market, and just the sheer speed of all of this releasing here has been absolutely astounding to me. Because Devin, have you tracked the progress on this at all?
Probably not as close as you, but a little bit.
I've just been very excited about this. Yeah. So day one, friends of the show, I guess we're not show here, friends of the channel, Retro Gaming Arts, they found that you could access the debug settings and all that, and the emulator settings through a keyboard command by literally plugging in a keyboard and hitting the escape key. That was day one. Day three, USB game loading was shown to work. And day four, there were methods that were released for that.
Right.
So within the first 3 days, it was, indefinitely hacked, we can say. And then by day four, there were methods that were actually released. And it's cool to see this, and I've been excited for all the wrong reasons, but it's just also so disappointing. And I say that because it shows just a lack of care from Sony's side. Like, we were able to access that so easily. And yes, we did have talented people looking at this, but even the encryption on it as well, too, they ended up using, they as in Sony, used a public key in place of a private key. Meaning that's how we're able to do all of our magic, because we can essentially sign our own firmwares and sign our own payloads and do whatever we want to on this system.
Yeah, and as you have here up on the stream, Yifan Liu kind of posted a couple things about how they were getting around it. There is kind of a weird like pseudo check for like the even authenticity of the key, but it's like, it's even weird. You can see it in the code. It like outputs literally like good signature.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just is very poorly done. They obviously didn't put a lot of time and effort into it. It seems like they did some stuff just plain wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of a wild ride.
Everything from the misconfiguration of the emulator to loading the power ROMs on there to this whole, even the security. They just said, you know what, we need to take our coffee break right now. We're not even gonna bother doing a proper encryption on here.
Right, and it does make it a little sad because a lot of people have obviously commented that Sony's just trying to get on this classic train that Nintendo's going on, trying to get some of that cash, and some people have felt that it was a bit rushed, and this doesn't exactly challenge that.
Yeah.
This really does feel like this was rushed. This was I don't want to say it was a pure cash grab, but it doesn't exactly look good.
I would say this is definitely aiming for cash grab, and the disappointing thing is Sony really had everything here, because Nintendo has essentially said, we're not doing an N64 Classic. They're like, look, we put out the NES Classic as a buffer. We put out the Super Nintendo Classic because we didn't really have, retro solutions out there. But look, we got the Switch, The Switch has retro games on there that you can pay for. So
Are there any N64 games?
No.
I didn't think so.
But Nintendo has essentially said, they're like, we're not saying that we're never going to do it in 64 Classic, but it's not in our interest right now to do it in 64 Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens eventually, but you do have to. I mean, I think it's good to give a little bit of a time.
Yeah.
In between, people have ridden that hype. We know what it is. I think the NES Classic and the SNES Classic has been pretty well received. So I think it's in their best interest to let things settle, let those sell, which, it's kind of off topic, but Nintendo has announced that I think they're going to stop production of those for now.
Yes.
I don't even think they said technically for now. They just said they were going to stop production of it.
Yeah, Reggie Fils-Aimé, he did say, he's just like, hey, because for anyone who doesn't know, the Nintendo Classic, it was impossible to find them. The initial ones were made out of like unobtainium, so it was really hard to find them. And then they kind of discontinued them and said, oh yeah, it was only a holiday thing. What, you guys didn't know? You guys didn't know it was only a holiday thing?
Yeah.
Really? And then, the Super Nintendo Classic came out and it had much bigger numbers. And Nintendo was like, look, we understand we messed up before. So now you can walk into any store and find these. But recently, so heads up to anyone, my bad.
Ooh, this is gonna
my
be,
bad.
This is going to be a new thing to get used to.
If anybody is interested in getting either one of these, better to get one now, because Nintendo has said, hey, look, we're going to be selling them through the holiday season, but like we're going to be stopping production super soon, if not now. So we're going to sell them through the holiday season, and then after that, we're going to sell them until they're gone. Mm-hmm. Like whatever's in stores is in stores at that point.
Yeah.
So I would say right now they are stupid easy to pick up. I would recommend picking one up if you don't have one. Meanwhile, that guy over there, the PlayStation Classic, is already on sale.
Oh, really?
Yep, $75 as opposed to $100.
I think I did hear something about that.
Yeah.
I think it's the holiday season. I mean, you can't blame it too much. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you got to realize the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo Classic never went on sale.
Absolutely. But
yeah, $60, $80, and they stayed that way.
Yeah, they were priced a little bit under. I do think the PlayStation Classic, in my opinion, was probably a bit overpriced.
And the funny thing is, and I talked about this in my review as well, too, which if you haven't seen, I'd recommend checking out some of the videos I did on the PlayStation Classic. I had a lot of fun making content for that. But it's not that bad when you break it down, because it's $5 per game. Mm-hmm. It's 100 divided by 20 games. You're paying $5 a game. Any game on there is worth $5.
Probably.
So that's a good deal. The problem is, it is the most expensive out of all the classic systems there, and it's not the games that people really wanted.
No, and I mean, you take that into consideration, and the fact that, I don't know, we've talked about this a little bit, and you kind of had like a little bit of a rebuttal, but I think out of the box, for like anyone who's not going to hack their freaking console, I don't think it provides the same quality of experience as the NES to SNES.
Oh, not at all.
So,
no.
Yes, there are ways around it, especially with the hacking, unlocking the frame rate and all that stuff like that. But out of the box, I think, you just ignore the games. Yeah, you can easily put that on the price of the games, but in terms of overall experience, overall, just, I don't know, everything. I don't even want to say packaging, because, I mean, they're all pretty well, they're all built like I would expect. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's just one of those things, unfortunately, where I have been enjoying it for the reasons that Sony doesn't want me to enjoy it.
Right.
I've enjoyed following the modding scene. I've enjoyed the reverse engineering. I've enjoyed making the tutorials about it. I've enjoyed playing around with the settings on there. But that's not what it was supposed to be marketed towards.
Right.
While as the Nintendo and Super Nintendo Classic, I'd say standalone, they're great little classic systems, and you're getting really good deals with them. Mm-hmm. And then if you mod them, you're getting bonus stuff. But with PlayStation Classic, I mean, I even kind of predict this a little bit. I'm like, I don't really recommend it unless you're planning on modding it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure there's people that are going to walk into a store, get it, and we kind of talk about this offline too. There is a couple issues, and I don't think the average person who doesn't follow games much, who walks into a Best Buy, sees one of these, gets nostalgic and buys one, I don't think they're going to care as much. They're buying it because they don't have these games, so they're not going to have a side-by-side with the actual real games. They're not going to be probably nitpicking.
Absolutely.
They're probably not even going to notice that it's a PAL game. I think it does still have a market, but, they didn't exactly hit the nail 100% on the head.
Oh, no. They could have done much better on there, and it's all their fault. Yeah.
But it's pretty sweet, So, I mean, how deep we want to go into this? I mean, should we talk about GPG packs and Bleem Sync?
I guess we can kind of sum this up. We've been going on a while on this one, but yeah, in short, what happened was GPG hacks ended up coming out. Which, if you can you pass me my PlayStation Classic, please?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, figure around all this.
Yeah. So essentially, what my setup is right here. I have this itty bitty, which you can barely see it on camera, just a 64 gigabyte super small USB 2.0 flash drive. And what you can do is if you have a compatible flash drive, you set it up and everything, there's two main modifications you can do. One of them is called GPG hacks, which made actual changes to the system itself and was deemed to be a little bit dangerous for people who didn't know what they were doing and very experimental. So the creator actually took it down the first, within a few days, unfortunately. But it was succeeded by something called Bleem Sync. So hearing the Bleem name for the PlayStation in terms of emulation was awesome again. But you can load up your own games off a flash drive if you configure it a certain way. It's easy enough to do. It is a little bit tedious, but it seems to work well enough. And the cool thing is with it, from what I see of it, you load up the files on there, and then when you turn it on, it loads the payload from the flash drive, and during the initial installation, it essentially copies the necessary system files that it needs to boot the console itself onto the flash drive, and you're kind of dual booting with that solution. So any changes you're doing, any games you're playing, any settings that you manipulate or change are all going to be on the flash drive. Mm-hmm. So you essentially dual boot your system. So if you want to modify it, you put Bleem Sync with the stuff on there. If you ever want to unmod it, you literally unplug it, turn the system off, unplug the flash drive, turn it back on, you have a stock system. So it's been a really clean way of doing it.
Yeah, the one downside is that, there are a decent number of multiplayer PlayStation games, and you're pretty much out of luck when you're doing that.
Absolutely.
Because you only have two USB ports, which are the ports for the controllers, of course, and so when you have one taken up by a flash drive, you're kind of out of luck. Now, one thing that I haven't ever seen anyone talk about, and maybe you have tried it, maybe you haven't. I really doubt it would work, but I wonder, especially with the way that you explained it, could you unplug the flash drive when everything is loaded into memory and you're actually playing a game?
No, because the games are, they're way too big for that. The games are hundreds of megabytes.
True. Yeah. So, so there's not really a whole good workaround for that, which does stink because this is a console that I would like to enjoy with people.
Absolutely.
Especially me and you probably have other solutions, more than one, for playing emulation by ourselves. So a console like this that's plugged into your TV, it would be nice to play with people.
Mm-hmm. For sure. People have been playing around with USB hubs and all that stuff, so I think we'll see.
Exciting.
We just need to wait a little bit, all right? Yeah. Next month we'll talk about this again on ModChat, I'm sure, and come to the
Yeah, and if USB hubs aren't working natively, with what we've got going on here, I think there's a really good chance that we could have an update to Bleem Sync to support that. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's not linger on this too long. Should we go ahead and move on a little bit?
Absolutely. I'm going to let you take that. I'm going to get another beer because I'm almost done with this one.
You need to calm down.
Hey, don't call me an alcohol. You're the one who's drunk. I'm not drunk.
You're the lightweight, man. Lightweight. All right, well, he runs off. Get into our next topic here, and that is about Kodi coming to the Switch. So Kodi, formerly known as XBMC, the Xbox Media Center, really good for playing media files, even over LAN and all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of plugins, a lot of community support, and it's open source. So we do have someone, Velocity Raw, I believe, has forked XBMC and kind of done a work in progress on the Nintendo Switch port for this. So I think that's pretty sweet to see. I think the Nintendo Switch is a very good console that has a lot of potential for good media consumption, but it's not something that Nintendo highlighted, really. So it's cool to see
not
this.
Not at all.
Right. No,
yeah,
not at all. We just recently got YouTube on there, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and there's still more, video apps that can come to the platform to really round that off. But, yeah, there's no local playback. There's very little media consumption apps. So this is pretty cool to see. It does look like the port was at least committed. The changes were committed on October 8th. I don't know when this exactly went public necessarily. We have a Reddit article that was from just a few days ago, but who knows if that was, actually went public then or not. But we haven't had any updates since then.
Okay.
Now, I haven't run this myself. I actually have never used Kodi. I used XBMC back in the day, but with kind of my local home media setup, I don't need it. I have something that is a little bit simpler that serves my needs. But this is really, really cool. my kind of question to you is, what do you what are the chances that this is actually going to get in the Switch eShop?
I don't think at all, man. I don't think at all, to be honest.
You don't think so?
No.
Why not?
Nintendo is not focusing on media consumption at all. It took forever to get Hulu on there. We just ended up getting YouTube. That was it. So,
but do we know if that was because of Nintendo, or was that a lack of third-party interest in developing for it?
I really don't think it's a lack of third-party interest, to be honest, because it can't take too much efforts to, port something over to another system like that. I think it's Nintendo kind of purposefully slowing everything down. Can I prove that? No, but just from the way I'm observing it, it looks like Nintendo is really focusing on this being a games console first, with some retro stuff in there slowly dripping in, and then, oh yeah, you can actually load up like 1 or 2 media apps. But we're not going to see anything robust like XBMC or, well, Kodi in this instance, or Plex.
I'm not going to be on the same side of that fence.
Okay.
I don't think that it's guaranteed. I will not be surprised if it doesn't come, but I think there's a strong case for it. This is the kind of thing that, the only thing I could see is that, this has died down a bit, but Kodi has been wrapped up in a little bit of talk around piracy and stuff like that with the various plugins you can install.
But that didn't stop it from going to the Xbox One.
No.
I mean, it's on everything.
I think that Nintendo would be probably a little more anal than anyone about something like that.
Oh,
though.
for sure.
But there's probably a factor there, but I think we've also gotten past a lot of that news and a lot of the fake hype that's been kind of going around the whole piracy-oriented side of things. I'm not hearing about it in the news as much. So I think there's a good chance that this could actually make it. I don't really see why not, unless Nintendo literally just refuses to put it on there. And at that point, they've already made a precedent with YouTube and some other things. So the only thing would be I have actually looked into this. I don't know if somehow they figured out a way to serve up local
feel
files.
Like we would see something like like MB or Plex before Kodi.
And why is that?
Come on. They seem to be a little more, I guess, seem to have a little bit more of a clean look to them almost. And by that, I mean like less shrouded in, hey, piracy box. That's my opinion on it. But also, I think those apps came to the PS4 and Xbox One before Kodi did.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Kodi's only on Xbox One right now. It's not even on PS4.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily agree that Kodi screams looking like piracy, but professionalism maybe, clean UI or something. Maybe you could have that argument. I don't think it's far-fetched, especially if they're not trying to support local playback by loading stuff onto the internal memory or something weird like that. We'll see.
We also need to assess the situation and really wait it out and see what other apps come on, because we got Hulu, and then months and months later we got YouTube. We don't even have Netflix, and Netflix is on everything.
Yeah, and I guess part of that is I wish we did have a little bit more information from Nintendo and stuff like that, because if Hulu came out, I feel like Nintendo would have probably more closely opened the floodgates.
Sure.
If literally Nintendo was the thing holding up that process, why didn't YouTube come out right after? Okay, we're progressing this stuff. Why didn't Netflix come out right after? I think there's probably a good portion of these companies that are this is not a media focused console. Why are we going to focus on media for this? You know what I mean? You look at their.
I would disagree on that. I feel like they could make an app and then just slowly update it.
I don't know, man.
Because that's another screen that they can get on their service.
Sure, but it still requires money. It's a whole new platform, a whole new set of quirks.
Sure.
And these people aren't necessarily hurting for cash either. So I don't know. We'll see. There's no official. I haven't found any really official statements on the plans for this, other than just getting builds going. For all we know, this is just more like a hobbyist thing. So we'll see if this even gets merged into mainline Kodi.
That'd be interesting to see.
If it doesn't, and some third party person is just releasing Kodi onto the Switch, I don't know. It's hard to tell how Nintendo would treat that per se. But right now, this is not on the official mainline upstream Kodi source code. This is really just on a fork that is available on GitHub publicly. So if you want to check it out, you can.
You can.
There are, are there any releases with the Switch port?
No. Not that I saw.
Yeah, I don't think so. So, we'll see. It'll be interesting. I think once it gets more stable or whatever, gets more attention and everything like that, it'll just be good for everyone. But I'm hoping that it gets on the actual Switch.
Same here. I'd love to see more things on Switch. Yeah. And kind of speaking of Switch stuff, we're going to be getting into it's not going to be Nintendo versus Soulja Boy, but it's Nintendo versus... Devin, how do you say this person's name? I don't even know.
Oh, which one? Which name?
The one that starts with an E.
I have no idea. I don't even know what country that's from.
I don't know either. I mean, it's based in the U.S., I guess, but I guess we could lead into it with this as well, too. Devin, we've talked about our views on piracy, what we think. We've talked about, of course, modding and everything. And we've told our viewers, like, look, we're not going to promote piracy. We're not going to be telling anyone to pirate their games. We buy our games. Like, you and I buy our shit. And we tell people, like, look, we're also at the same time, we're not going to police you. Like, we're going to tell you you shouldn't do it, but we're also not going to condemn you for doing that stuff. We're just going to recommend, hey, don't do it. But what is the one thing that we've always said here whenever we talk about things like this?
I guess part of it is, I think it comes down to distribution.
Yeah.
Right? Like distributing these things, whether it's on a flash drive, whether it's on a preloaded console. Distributing these things for profit, any kind of profit motive around stuff that doesn't belong to you, it's not cool, man.
Not cool.
It's not cool.
Yeah. In short, don't sell the shit. We've talked about somebody who got busted by Sony because Sony bought two preloaded PS4s from him. Of course, we've talked about modifying systems and all that, and I've told people, even when I've done it, I'm like, hey, if you want to sell a modded system, cool, don't preload it with a shitload of games on there.
Yeah, that's I agree with you. And totally different. Selling a system that's set up for that's just unlocked, right? It's capable of doing many more things, right?
Yes.
That is totally different than actually distributing those games, because you're not distributing anyone's work usually. I mean, there are some exceptions where, like, some mods can have copyrighted material in it, whether it's a kernel or whether it's just a piece of code that gets modified or something like that. But usually those kind of things are not distributing anything copywritten or anything like that.
Yeah. So a few months ago, we talked about, again, a gentleman who sold preloaded, jailbroken PS4s on eBay with like 20-some, 30-something pirated games on them. And now we're going to be talking about Nintendo doing the same thing. But since he wasn't on eBay, if it's not eBay, it should be safe, right? That's not the case at all. This gentleman, Mr. I'm not even going to try to say that name. This guy was selling some things on OfferUp. And in short right here, I guess, through OfferUp, defendants have sold and continue to sell modification services for the Nintendo Switch game console that allow the user to play any Switch games they want. Upon information and belief, defendants install a software modification on the Nintendo Switch that allows customers to play games copied from unauthorized sources and loaded on a memory card. So there, defendants provide customers with free, i.e. illegally copied games with every purchase of illegal modification services for Nintendo Switch consoles. So even though they're saying here the services, I'm not glossing over this, they are saying the services are illegal, which... I'm going to disagree with that on there, because that's Nintendo's official complaint on there. They have their own way of looking at ROMs, emulation, all that stuff.
Well, we've seen precedent in the past where that's usually, it's pretty much allowed. I mean, we look at jailbreaking and a lot of other things.
Yeah, but here it's the games that they're mad about. And here, this gentleman was preloading Switches and selling them, modding Switches and selling, illegally pirated games for them. But he was also doing the same with NES Classics. So he's been busted for Switches and NES Classics. And here it's talking about the offer NES Classic Edition video game systems for sale via OfferUp. Instead of the 30 authorized Nintendo console games that come preloaded on the game system, defendants modify the game system so that they are preloaded with unauthorized copies of over 800 different games.
How big is that memory card, first of all?
About 330 megabytes, something like that. So honestly, I think I know what this is. And he was only selling them for $15 above the retail price. So I'm pretty sure because of that number, he was probably just preloading these games with these consoles with the entire NES library.
Right.
Yeah. Which would be cool to have all there, but for God's sake, don't sell it, man. Now, I'm not going to go all the way down on this thing here, but the main thing that really got this guy onto Nintendo's radar was that he was selling Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and advertising that, ahead of time, ahead of its release, which is undoubtedly Nintendo's biggest game in recent history. And for anyone that doesn't know, it did leak out 2 weeks before the release date. So somebody going around trying to offer modification services and selling consoles with this game that came out weeks before. Well, it's not coming out for another few weeks. That's going to get you onto their blip pretty quick.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is like, I mean, like we said, I wouldn't do this, right? I wouldn't be loading any games and selling them on any consoles, but that is something that I would especially stay away from. That is dangerous territory. And like you said, this isn't like some game. This isn't some third-party thing that's not going to get a lot of attention, but it is one of their main titles for the Switch. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, don't do it. Don't think about it. I understand how tempting it could be, I guess, if you like have the knowledge to be able to hack these consoles and think you can turn a profit. But if you really want to get into that territory, do a service where all you're doing is modding and you're not responsible for any games or anything like that. That's really the extent of how this stuff should go to. Nothing more, really.
Absolutely. Yeah. So on that as well, actually, Nick, he brought up a good point. In that same document, I'm not going to cite exactly where it's at. I mean, the links will be down in the description on YouTube after the show is, aired and such. But it was also revealed that there could be a eShop renaming, because it did mention something along the lines of the Nintendo eShop, formerly known as the eShop, and it's referring to the eShop now as Nintendo Switch Online. So this could be telling us that there's a rebranding, which that'd be a nice rebranding, I guess.
I don't know. Maybe. Like, would you want to go to Xbox Live to buy your games? You want to go
that's
to
what
like
people do.
I mean, is it called Xbox Live though? Is it just I guess, or is there
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a difference. I mean, we're talking about software here. Online is a service. It's a back-end service.
People say, hey, I'm going to buy this game on PSN, PlayStation Network. So, hey, Devin, why don't you buy this on Nintendo Switch Online, on NSO? It's another three-letter abbreviation.
I don't know. Maybe this is like the software developer me getting overly anal about like categorizing different things and weird marketing taking over, right? Of course. But they're definitely two different products. An eShop is a web, well, I guess in this case a web app to facilitate purchasing and downloading games. Nintendo Switch Online is a back-end service.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that, honestly, but maybe that's just me. Maybe
I think we'll also just get used to it if it does get rebranded by update 7.0 or something like that.
I think I'm just still scarred from some of the weird rebrandings of that stuff. Like, I think back on Android, and I still don't like Google Play. Like, that is the worst freaking name for a store ever.
And it doesn't faze me. So.
Oh my gosh, it kills me every time.
Oh man.
And I don't know. It's just, I think back to the iOS Switch too, and I'm just like, thank you guys. Thank you for not freaking rebranding your store to something stupid. What was wrong with the market? Okay. Rant over. Yeah. Now, the next thing, this is, I guess, Nintendo related, I guess you could say. So, we're going to be talking about this. Hopefully, we won't linger on it too long, at least. But, Devin, you copping that new Soulja Boy console? Yo! Actually, we talked about this recently. I kind of want to. This is like the most perplexing thing ever.
Oh my god!
We got to share the screen, man.
For anybody that doesn't know, and this website just got a whole new rebranding. This is SouljaWatch.com, where the rapper Soulja Boy, he has, as you can see, the Soulja headphones, wireless Bluetooth, the Soulja pods from only $368. He's essentially drop shipping here, right, and rebranding all this stuff. He got some notoriety because for months, he's been teasing that he's going to be making a game console. And he ended up releasing not one, but two game consoles initially, which seemed to be the Soulja Game handheld and the Soulja Game console.
Don't forget about the other one.
Well, those ones came out later.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But the Soulja Game console, damn, it went up in price, man. How could you do this to us?
Supply and demand. Everybody wants it.
I guess so. It doesn't show all the details here, unfortunately, but this is essentially a fake-looking Xbox One-looking motherfucker of some kind that comes preloaded with a ton of pirated games. Comes with about 3,000 or so, and This is essentially the Wish.com or the AliExpress.com special. You can get this exact same thing there. The same thing with the Soulja game console. A lot of people have reviewed this, have checked this out as well too. And they've been picking up the ones on like Amazon and AliExpress. Devin, I don't think anybody has gotten them from SouljaWatch.com.
I haven't seen anything online yet. I have seen multiple people, quote unquote, review these things, but again, like they're talking about, or like you're talking about, they're the actual like consoles that these are ripped off from, or that they are rebranded from.
Yep.
So yeah, I've seen multiple people talk about it. I think I even sent you a video where the guy was like, let me check out what this Soulja console is. Let's get inside. Let's see what the components are, and just smashes it with the hammer.
Mad Little Pixel did that one. Yeah, now the funny thing is with this, which I haven't seen anybody really point this out here, the Soulja game handheld, it does come with one song, which is Starboy by The Weeknd. And I think it's funny that it comes with that song, but it has no Soulja Boy music on it.
Oh, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. And he's been like, I actually recently watched an interview with him. No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world.
He's done some pedo shit.
Who? Soulja Boy?
No. Well, maybe I don't know, but No Jumper has. He was recently dropped from his label because some like major allegations with more and more stuff coming out. Anyways, that's a whole other thing. Yeah, I'll have to link you to it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But so he actually had an interesting interview on there where like, I mean, it's kind of weird, but he's been like steadily releasing music, but he kind of played it off like, oh, I've been trying to be more low key. I got too much fame. But I mean, he's been releasing music. He's been there.
Well, this is the funny thing because I was talking with you guys about it before. Like this yesterday, we had a conversation about it, and it's so funny because months ago I had heard about something like this because I listen to rap, I listen to hip hop, so I kind of follow this stuff a little bit. And Soulja Boy's just been a clown, kind of. He's been a bit of a meme. So this is slight rant, but this is essentially a dude who he was broke kid from the projects, who got really popular off of dance and ringtones, and then when he made all his millions and got out the hood and everything, he started trying to mess with guns. He started trying to drug deal and all that.
I haven't heard of this stuff. I need to look into that.
I mean, yeah, that's why, the Draco stuff, he started getting all the tattoos and everything. And that doesn't even count, all the artists that he collabs with, rips off their style for like a mixtape or two, and then just dumps them. So what I'm saying is I'm a little bit familiar with Soulja Boy's antics, more than most, I would say. So when I saw this released, I was just like, oh, Soulja Boy, why would you do this? And then this story blew up and just blew the fuck up and went everywhere. And I was like, oh, most people haven't heard his name since 2008. That's why this is a big deal. Okay. To me, this was just another antic in his world.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. This has surpassed anything I would have imagined. Actually, this would have made more sense to me if this came out right after he blew up, when he was like really feeling the hype train, really trying, whatever, like just trying to just overbrand himself.
For sure.
But he's had years to marinate.
He has.
You know what I mean? And he's not a kid anymore, right?
No.
And you look at this page, like, I guess you guys can't see it on stream right now.
I'm sorry. I'm drinking my beer, okay?
You got to put it on stream. Proof it happened.
Yes.
But, this page is just like, dude, it is so...
Yeah.
I don't know the right word.
He has two more consoles now, by the way. He has the Retro Soulja Mini, which is, again, this thing, 508 games included with this
I'm sure this
little
is
motherfucker.
a rip-off of another console, but it looks nice, man.
The Soulja game Fuse, which apparently this has a lot of official partners and such, but really this is just a Android system that came out a few years ago. That looks, oh my god, this side is so bad.
It's not very responsive. Responsive web design, Soulja.
No, but this one has this is the only console of the four that has official games, because this was a console that was marketed to the Chinese market and didn't do very well at all. But the other three are just the AliExpress special. Okay.
I do have to make one comment. The chat's going off here.
What are they going off about?
So I'm sorry, I'm going to botch your name a little bit, but IoTKU or IoTQ, he said, you are going to get sued. Let's see, what else do we have here? Dear Soulja Boy, please tell him how you're not guilty. So props to the chat for your little memes there. I like it. We
very much appreciate it. And we're going to be talking about that as well here too, where there was this news article that started making a lot of rounds where Soulja Boy faces 10 years in prison for fake game console with 2 exclamation points. And it's here from this place, which is MTO News, which is Media Takeout. Now, big heads up here. I hate to burst everyone's bubble, Now, everyone is expecting Soulja Boy to get a lawsuit here. Everyone pointed to this, saying, Soulja Boy's gonna get a lawsuit. Look, he was contacted by Nintendo. It's even saying right here as well, what is it? Yeah, Soulja Boy has reportedly been contacted by Nintendo, who's threatening to press criminal charges against the Crank That rapper, MTO News has confirmed. And they're saying that in a letter that was sent to him, Nintendo's team suggested that selling the game console may violate the Trademark Counterfeiting Act.
No.
And that it has been proven that he violated the law.
Not Soulja.
Not Soulja. Soulja Boy may be subject to substantial prison time.
In bold.
In bold. Now, the thing with this is this website, the reason why I really don't want to burst anyone's bubble, but one, this website is not reputable at all. Two, it doesn't have any official sources. Like the previous story we just talked about, I showed a legal document on here. There's no legal complaint, no legal document or anything on here.
Just because this is the last episode of the year, and I don't feel bad about going on tangents. That is something that, like, as I've gotten older, it's been years since I've actually cared about this. This is not something really new. Citations, man.
Yeah.
School taught me well on citations because, like, I read articles and even I see
this is a gossip site.
Well, yeah, but I see a lot of like mainstream sites that report on stuff, and a lot of they're not wrong usually. A lot of times when I see these kind of things, like they're like, okay, yes, this is right. Everyone's reporting on it. I can find the citations, but like post your citations, man.
Exactly.
This is grade school, SpongeBob.
Exactly. Yep. So yeah, no. In short, I'm going to say here, Soulja Boy has probably not been contacted by Nintendo. Unfortunately, or fortunately, if you're Soulja Boy here, this is probably fake news here because he's still selling the consoles. A lot of people mess this up. Even I mess this up on Twitter. Now look, is he going to get contacted by Nintendo? Most likely.
Probably.
Because what he's doing is he's drop shipping, but he's not even he's not taking your order and fulfilling a same order on like AliExpress or Wish. These are being shipped. Apparently, I mean,
thank God, because if that was really happening, like if he was just fulfilling orders,
no, these have to be within the U.S. because like when I looked at the shipping times and all that, they were supposed to be within a few days, and it was all through USPS type tracking and everything. Which again, maybe he is just fulfilling orders, and maybe he's just lying on his front page because I honestly don't think anyone has gotten these consoles from Soulja Watch. Again, so if they are coming from within the U.S. and it is his company that's doing it, he's going to get in trouble there, but it's not a good look. So everyone pump the brakes a little bit. Even I got a little bit excited too.
Little pump the brakes.
Ooh!
Sorry. This one's going to get weird, guys. Sorry,
pretty sure.
Totally derail you.
Pretty sure. Yeah, and you're doing it even worse when I have alcohol in my system. This one's kind of nasty, by the way.
Oh, really? Not a fan?
Not this one. The Easy Apple, not so much. No.
I thought it was supposed to be easy, man. That's false advertising.
Yeah. It's fake news, just like this fucking media takeout. Okay.
So this is a ridiculous website. I've never heard of it.
Media Takeout, yeah. If y'all ever wants to look up the owner of Media Takeout and try and say his name, it's really fun.
Oh God,
he has like the most African name. It's incredible.
Well, I mean, at least that like checks out with the headline of the website.
True that.
It literally says the most visited African American news network.
No, I'm talking African. Like the guy is straight up from Africa.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying though. Like at least the name checks out. Like you know what I mean? Like hey, like.
Yep. So yeah, no, that's it. So again, is Soulja Boy gonna get in trouble? Most likely. My logic is, look, if Nintendo can go after someone through fucking OfferUp reselling systems, why in the hell would they ever avoid Soulja Boy?
That's what I'm saying.
Why?
And it makes me wonder. Almost, you know, I have no proof of this or anything like that. No evidence. No citations. But. You know, it makes me wonder, actually, if maybe there has been some talks, and, I mean, Soulja Boy, say what you will about him, say what you will about his antics, say what you will about his varying levels of success, but I'm sure the dude still has a lot of money.
I would hope so.
I wonder if they're playing, like, a kind of game of chicken, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Maybe not a game of chicken, but, like, hey, maybe they're getting talked to, maybe they're whatever, and maybe, like, he's got enough lawyers to be like, hey, we can push this off for as long as possible. You know what I mean?
He apparently said that his lawyer said everything is good, and I want to know who the fuck his lawyers are.
Hey, man. You can. I mean, I don't know. With the right amount of money, I feel like you can make a lawyer do whatever you need to.
I guess so.
And then if it works or not, you know.
If it works or not, hey.
But you know, you can pay him to say something.
I guess so. I don't know. I'm feeling it's kicking a little bit. All right.
Oh yeah.
I'm a lightweight,
Oh.
so yeah. Just for everyone.
Cute.
If anybody ever, if anyone's making fun of me on stream, there's like, "Hey, you're lightweight." I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have no inherited alcoholism in my family, and I don't drink.
So yeah, and I like to enjoy beverages. I don't really get like drunk that much. In fact, I mean, I'm going to be drinking more tonight than I do on any average time.
Absolutely.
But I do drink more consistently than you. I enjoy a beer for dinner here and there. I enjoy, I do enjoy going out a little bit. But we were talking about our budget differences, right? And
Yep.
you like cleared like basically like 2 or 3 months worth of your quote unquote alcohol budget.
Yeah, no.
With this one little 6-pack.
According to the budgeting app I use, I buy alcohol so infrequently that it's just like, hey, $10 a month is allocated to alcohol and bars. Yeah.
Now, I will say, I'm probably not going to release my numbers here, but, I felt like, man, I would be nice to cut back on spending money on alcohol. But then I hear, like, some of my coworkers and stuff like that, who are very functioning people. I mean, I work at a software development company. We're all smart people that are real sharp.
But there's also a lot of alcoholics.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, holy cow, like... Yeah,
God, that's gonna be happening. By the way.
But yeah, when your like alcohol budget is more than your rent, it's like, whoa, dude. Hold on.
Hey, they're making a good living. I guess.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe it's not their rent. Maybe you know what I mean.
Maybe
Maybe
not.
they're on a higher echelon, man. I don't know. I don't ask those questions.
Yes. We do have one more topic, guys. Then we're gonna get into the things you all
Yeah.
want to talk about. But Devin, what are we talking about here? I'll let you take
Well,
this last one.
yeah,
'cause
man.
You added this, and I didn't really know all too much about it. So
I sneaked it in. Yeah, sure. So basically, there's not a whole lot to this here, and I don't know if there's more information out there. Maybe some of the chat can kind of fill us in a little bit. The chat's always so smart. We appreciate the crap out of you guys.
We do.
But it looks like
I appreciate him so much. I took a dump before the show.
oh man, I appreciate you for not like doing your like eking stuff out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fumes that pass by that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting right next to you now. There's not even like an angle here.
It can be fucked up.
But anyways, Hex Keys.
Mr. Hex Keys.
Theoretical, hopeful, potential friend of the show, Hex Keys.
Yes,
We've talked
Mr.
about
Mike
him
Heskin. We've talked about this gentleman several times.
many times.
Famous for always reversing the latest SXOS
Yes,
firmware updates.
yes. In fact, I saw that today on Twitter. He was just like, "Oh, here's another one." Which maybe we can check about that Q&A. But they actually released their beta or whatever. We thought it was going to be a while.
Yeah, they did.
So
Yeah,
we'll talk about that in
They have
Q&A.
support for 6.2,
Two,
right?
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
So Hex Keys, basically we see here on screen, obviously, for the people on audio only. Hex Keys basically came out on Twitter and said, furthermore, this particular bug, referring to a bug he was previously discussing, obviously, is not the core exploit of the chain we call deja vu, but it was a fundamental last step to achieve boot ROM code execution while defeating the system from a bottom-up perspective. Anyway, browserhax plus nvhax for greater than 6.2.0 will be released later this week, along with a write-up, so people with iPatched units, which means the ones with the boot ROM, has basically been patched from the factory, so this isn't a hardware revision, this is an actual a software revision to the boot ROM. But even with iPatch units, they can play around a little bit in userland. It's not much, but hopefully will lead to more people researching other attack vectors in the latest firmware. So we have some hope for some new switch hacks. I am not surprised. I don't think Mr. Mario is surprised. Month
I
after
had to
month.
get another beer for this.
Yeah, I was. Did I do a good job filling it in?
You did.
Oh,
No,
you
you
got a pair one.
Oh yeah, I guess
Okay.
I didn't even look. I was just I'm feeling like an alcoholic now.
So
I'm just reaching for the beer,
man.
not even looking at the labels anymore.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm a bad influence.
You are.
Was this my idea? I think it was.
No, it was my idea.
Was it?
It was my idea because you were drunk last year.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was an accident, guys. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
exactly.
I mean, not an accident, just the level of it.
And-
Let's hope I'm not kicking my feet up on the couch.
And by the way,
This time.
by the way, Kiwi Dog, thank you so much for the $2 donation. I hope we have you in tears of joy.
Yes.
He says I'm in tears. Ha ha.
Yes.
Ha, ha, ha.
Good to see you, Kiwi Dog. Glad for stopping by, and thanks for the donation, man. This is awesome.
For sure.
Oh, hey, look, Sonny said, have a White Russian right now. Right now. Can't right now. We ain't got no vodka here. But he said it's
I don't
keto friendly.
Like vodka.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth. It was like my first love, and then I really hated it, and then like it was one of those things that it was like, wow, I get sick every time I drink. Oh wait, I get sick every time I drink vodka. yeah, it's I don't know. It's rough, but in a good drink, like I enjoy it more now. But vodka by itself, or like just as something to casually drink on a. For the record, I'm a beer person. I like to drink casually, like to have a good beer. It's beer is thick enough where it's like honestly can be. I mean, you can get drunk on it.
You like
but,
them thick.
Well, and I like them craft, right? And you can't just pound craft beers. It just doesn't go down like that.
I don't know, like, dude. I mean, I might get some hate for this, but like every beer I've had, even the really nice craft ones, people will be like, "Oh, try this. It's like a $10-12 beer." I'm like, this tastes the same to me. This is like a slightly better beer.
It's acquired. I mean, I'll give you that. It's
is.
definitely an acquired taste. It's something that I developed on years, and I skipped the cheap beer phase. I guess I say it's acquired, but when I started tasting,
Jesus Christ,
when I started tasting good beer, I got into it, and it was like, okay, I can enjoy this much more than like a cheap beer. I was never into it. I mean, yeah, it's mostly about the flavor for me. You know what I mean? I drink water and coffee all day at work, and for dinner, it's like sometimes a beer sounds nice.
But see, if you're going for flavor, I'd rather get a soda or something or a juice.
I will no, man, that's not me, man. But
Okay.
I think you know me a little bit. I'm not a sweets person. Like sugar just doesn't. And I mean, I know there's sugar in beer. There's definitely an element of that in there, but like sweetness, I'm the type of person that like always gets a soda at a restaurant and drinks like very little of it.
Okay. Which that's kind of a waste, unfortunately, because soda at a restaurant's like $2.
Well, I mean, I guess if it comes with your meal, I guess we did go out to lunch and I got water.
Yeah.
But I guess mainly like fast food. How about that? If I'm going like doing some fast food type thing, soda, I'll get it, and then it's like I'll take a few sips. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, Kiwi Dog, thank you.
Thank you.
That was
so
rad.
much. Yeah. Well, it looks like we got some other drunks in here. Dintron is saying, I got to be honest, I am half a bottle down and I'm quite drunk.
I hope that's beer.
I don't think so. I think he said he had like some fake Jägermeister, cheap Jägermeister thing of some kind.
That's going to hit you hard, boy. That's going to hit you hard. Be careful, man. Be safe. Don't drive.
I have to go all the way to my room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man. That's it. That's it for topics, though.
Yeah, pretty much. So
that's
like
it for topics. No, not even pretty much. We're done.
Switch stuff coming soon.
Yes.
Now, what do you guys want to hear?
Yes.
It's Q&A time.
Now we're going to switch to you all. So we're going to switch into this.
Oh, he did it.
So
he did it.
This is what we were planning on originally doing, and I didn't think we'd go on for this long in here, but we did anyways.
Wow.
The rest of the show for
hour.
whenever we feel like finishing, I guess, it's just going to be Q&A, where we're going to get personal with you all. Whatever the hell you want us to talk about or answer,
real intimate,
we're going to be talking about. We did the same thing last year. It was really fun. I did the same thing before with Johnny Guns and Daniel, or Modbot, or Dope Swanner 930, whatever you want to call him. And it's always been fun, where we just kind of go in with no topics. This year was a little different because we had topics and we went through them, but we also went on tangents and everything. So if anybody wants to drop that stuff, that'd be great. And while we wait on that as well, too, I wanted to say, obviously we're a little festive here. I even got something for Lily, and unfortunately, we kind of banished her. She's good. She's just staying in the living room right now because right before we started the show, she busted through this. She was like hanging out underneath the table, and she disconnected the camera. And I'm just like, no, you go now. And she left.
I mean, as you can see, we've got like a desktop here.
We've got
equipment
I guess
here.
You can't see it, but there's a desktop underneath.
You can see that. You can at least see the wires going off the edge, right? And I've got my laptop here, which thankfully, last show of the year, I'm going on some tangents. Okay.
Yes.
This is a 2015.
God.
Goodness. This is what I have to deal with every time I hang out with this guy. I just want you guys to know.
Yeah. I guess
I'd never get used to it.
You guys might hear my horrible burps.
I thought you were a freaking liar. Like when the first time we did this, which I wasn't mad about. I thought it was funny, but I thought you were a dang liar. And it's real, folks. Like, that is real as it gets.
And it's amazing because even my dog has learned it as well,
oh, man. I haven't heard this yet. I don't even know if I want to.
One of my favorite stories to tell was one time, like, girlfriend and I and the dog were downstairs, and I just released this huge burp, and she just kind of went into, like, shell shock. Like, she froze and didn't know what to do. Before she could even cool down, Lily comes over and just goes... just does the same thing.
I've never even heard a dog burp, I don't think. That's weird.
You did because one time you were petting her and she burped. And I was like, Devin, did you hear that? And you're like, Danny, I felt it.
Yeah, you're bringing back... Those were repressed. Thank you very much. Okay, anyways, before we get too far off. So, the cables. This is a 2015 MacBook. MacBook Pro. It's got a MagSafe charger, which was, You can see me. I just pulled that right off.
I like those.
It's really nice. Apple, for better or for worse, right? I got its ups and downs. It's gone to USB Type-C. They did not leave the MagSafe. So USB Type-C does not have that kind of easy magnetic disconnection like that. I guess got the eggnog in the way, but it just pops right out. So
Wait, it doesn't come with eggnog?
No.
Oh,
MacBook, no eggnog.
all right.
It'd probably be spoiled by the time you got it from China.
Damn.
I don't want Chinese eggnog. I don't know what's in that.
I don't know either. Lead.
Anyways, but yeah, so like the new MacBooks have USB Type-C charging, which is really cool because you can charge in any port. They do USB-C well. I've seen other laptops not do USB-C as well, especially when you consider charging. But yeah, it's kind of annoying, and it's it makes me glad I still have this laptop, even though it's a work laptop. But I'm glad I still have it because Lily.
Because Lily.
Because she can run by and like it just pops right out.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so that kind of happened. So she was going under the tables and even like disconnected our camera here for a split second.
Yep.
So.
Oh man.
Wow. Should we?
Yes. Go ahead.
Sonny.
Sonny.
I'm going for the full last name because I'm gonna like mess this up. But you deserve the attempt.
I think it's. You go ahead. Say it. I think I know how to say it.
McGillicuddy?
Yeah, I'd say that. I'd say that.
Sonny McGillicuddy. Cutie. McGillicuddy or McGillicutie? You'd let me know how I need to say it because it's an interesting one.
McGillicuddy.
McGillicuddy. Finally caught a ModChat live. Don't waste these pennies like Dark Side Phil.
Do you know who that is?
I know the name, but
oh man, every 30 seconds. So this guy, I mean, this is a whole rabbit hole we can go down. So I'm not going to. But my God, if you want to just look up some stuff, like this guy is just. He has a great job, but he always complains about it because he's pretty much a full-time YouTuber streamer, not doing super well, always complains about money and all that. And he always snorts, like he always does this like, okay. Like he always just makes these disgusting noises and he always says okay to things.
Can you not do that off camera?
No. Well, I mean, when you stream 10 hours a day, you gotta do it,
Do that on the bathroom break, bro.
Yes. But thank you so much for that.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much. If you're hopefully you're not new to the entire podcast, but like literally this money is being put to good use, and I put full credit on Mr. Mario here. There's been gear that's bought.
Well, thank you.
Dude, you do excellent. You know what I mean?
I try.
Neither of us are like too hung up on money for this thing at all. But the money that's come in has gone towards more gear, a better setup. This table, it really goes to making this whole thing better, and so it's extremely appreciated. And just seeing you guys out there freaking blows my mind every time. So thank you so much. And yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, let's go ahead and get to some of these questions, though.
Yes. Do you have one that you picked out, or we need to go backwards?
Oh, let's see. What was your favorite hack that was released this year? Oh my God, I gotta really think. You know what? I have to say, maybe just with things in general, Fuse Jelly.
Yeah, I was gonna say for sure.
Yeah, I've loved Bleem Sync and GPG hacks. That's been really fun to look at, but I think it might be Fuse Jelly just because of how early it came in and how much we're seeing, the Switch scene progress.
Well, and like me and you called it. I think I was the one who put more of like a time frame on it, but like I was really, really hyped on the Switch hacks, and I really before anything had come out, I was like, we're gonna see something within 6 months, and damn right we did.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure I said something along the lines of like something more like real heavy within a year, and I think we beat that by good margins.
Yeah, fucking boot ROM the first year,
dude.
Boot ROM.
Yeah, and just the whole thing, the way it played out, the flexibility there, the nature of the exploit being like an NVIDIA issue, or like I guess perhaps the way that Nintendo implemented the NVIDIA issue, how it worked out. It was just so many different factors coming together. Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's just like, for example, I remember I was talking with one of my good friends, shout out Donald, or the one man is here. But
Donald?
Yeah. I was talking with him about this, but I believe, because it's for the Tegra X1 in general, and that chipset, I believe, is used in the entertainment system for Tesla cars. Yeah. So he was even saying, he's like, Danny, do you know how amazing it would be if you could just play Switch games on the Tesla entertainment system? I'm like, well, technically you could use Fuse Jelly to then do whatever you want to load up like Linux, for example, to load a Switch emulator that would then load Switch games. So it's possible. And he was just like, I was just joking, but it's amazing that you said it's possible.
No, yeah, totally. Well, and that was a crazy thing too, because it did actually kind of like highlight that there were several other Android devices that were exploitable.
Anything with a Tegra X1.
Yep. So that was just really cool. So I agree with you there. I wish I had something else to combat with, but that really takes the cake. I was really hyped for the Switch as a console, and that just totally came through.
I think a close second would be H Encore for the Vita, otherwise known as Hincore, as MVG says.
Hey, that's what I was gonna say too. All right, like I looked at that, I had both options in my head, but I was like, I kind of like Hencore because I think part of me is just the hen, right? Hen goes back to PSP days for me, and so I don't want to not
enabler, baby.
I don't want to not say hen. Notice that I burped and didn't sound like a freaking fiend.
Don't make fun of me for my disabilities.
There was no fun made.
There are dozens of us.
There is clear
dozens.
That's a clear observation, not a there's no slight there at all. All right, I got one real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Benjamin Stokes. Anyone ever play Paperboy on the NS? That game was not good for that console. Why, Nintendo? Why? I know of Paperboy. I mean, it's kind of like a notorious
I've played Paperboy, not on the Nintendo though.
Yeah, I have never played it. Is it a game that you would enjoy going back to, just like playing casually, or is that just totally like a this was?
I think it's something like, I mean, I've played it at barcades and I've enjoyed it, so I guess in the proper
environment.
Yeah, proper environment, sure.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that's actually a place where I would consider dabbling myself, but it's never been a game. I had an NES when I was growing up, but I was too young to like embrace the NES in its prime, right?
Sure.
Like a little bit older, we had it, like it was really nice, but we really focused on those like real major games, Super Mario Brothers, some Final Fantasy here, some of that goodness, and Paperboy just didn't fall into that category for me, and I never felt the need to emulate it.
I gotcha. And I didn't grow up with a Nintendo, so that's my own fault, I guess.
Oh, I remember, and those things were just
did you
as much
just burp in the middle of all
No.
that? Oh, because you kind of did a
no.
like, okay.
No.
All right.
I ain't Ricking over here. But yeah, no, I remember the Nintendo. It was so bittersweet, good console, fun games, but yes, there was the trials and tribulations with getting games running that is as notorious as it gets.
For sure.
Do you have a Nintendo now?
I have a few, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I do. Yep. Exede is asking, Mario, don't you own a Soulja game handheld? I remember you making a video a year or so ago on something similar, if not the same. I have something similar. I have the Revo K101 Plus or K150 Plus, which is essentially a bootleg Game Boy Advance that also has the options to play other emulators. And I reviewed it pretty positively for Game Boy Advance games, exclusively Game Boy Advance games. Very similar body, almost the exact same body, I would say. But I believe it's technically a different system.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to say no. I have something similar, but not the Soulja game handheld.
And we did mention this already, but for the people that are like new in the chat, you can basically, for a actually significantly cheaper cost, go and get the console that the Soulja Boy consoles are based on from like AliExpress.
Oh, not even based on. You can get the exact same thing on AliExpress.
I want to see if they have Soulja Boy packaging though. I want the Soulja Boy packaging, Danny.
I don't think that's real, to be honest. I know Mad Little Pixel had it, but it looked like he kind of slapped it on.
I don't think that was I'm pretty sure that one was a that one was the original console, right? So I haven't found. I have seen multiple YouTubers talking about this stuff. I haven't gone like really extensively trying to find someone who actually has gotten a Soulja Boy console. But everyone I've seen that's done a review or whatever, an overview or just a general discussion, has always had the original consoles. Because we were talking about this, like it's like almost like mythical. It's like they're on the site, but like who has this thing?
Yeah. I think James earlier had said there's like one confirmed person who got them from Soulja Watch, but
it's so bittersweet for me. I think I actually started to talk about this earlier and got sidetracked, but I would like to get one of these, not to support Soulja Boy, not to support distributing pirated content potentially, or any of those things.
You're just getting it for the Weeknd song on there.
Yeah, right? Dude, the Weeknd.
I'm a motherfucking star boy.
But no, I want. It's almost like a piece of history for me. Like if you could, think about it. In 20 years, do you remember when Soulja Boy released like a pirated game console? Like, yeah, and I got one. Like that is, you know what I mean? Not the I wouldn't say knockoff, but the original like thing that it was based on. You know what I mean? I don't want those extra words in there. I want to be like, yeah, I got the Soulja Boy console. But at the same time, it does feel really bad.
I'm good.
Oh, I want it. I do. I
mean, I got shitty things in my collection, but I will not put that in my collection.
I don't know, but it's not a collection piece to show off. You feel me, right? You feel me, right? At least to an extent.
I guess.
You can feel my position here.
I guess.
Like, it just, there's something about it. Like, I wouldn't put it on display. That would not be in front of my TV where my NES Classic is.
No.
But it would be cool to actually have that piece of history. Just for the sake of how ridiculous it is. Anyways, next question. Should we move on? I got one here.
Go ahead.
All right. Epic Martin, avatar change. You threw me off. I hope this is the same Epic Martin.
Oh, it is.
Because I love seeing you in the chat.
No, I know it is. Yeah.
How much do you want to bury the PlayStation Classic in the ground?
I don't want to bury it. What are you talking about? I paid good money for this shit.
Yeah, me too.
I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. Again, for the wrong reasons, but I have enjoyed it.
So, to be fair, I have not opened that up. I have a RetroPie with a bunch of PlayStation 1 games on it that actually runs pretty well.
This inspired me to redo my RetroPie setup. So I dumped a bunch of my collection from the discs, and I have it set up on my RetroPie. Nice, and RetroPie is awesome.
Which, should we mention the gifts that were sent to us from MVG?
Oh, sure.
MVG sent us a couple. You want me to
get them? I can
Dude, go get yours. Yeah.
I could show the case. So, oh God, I got to go upstairs.
MVG, friend of the show. I hope he listens to this at some point. He's a champ. He had sent us a little care package that actually contained it contained multiple gifts, but one of them was actually a Pi case that was an SNES Pi case that came with a controller. So huge thanks to that guy. Obviously, we very appreciate him being on the show and just kind of being a part of the community and all the things that he's done. But it was pretty awesome. So I think Mr. Mario is going to go grab one of those cases now. But yeah, major thanks to that guy. Definitely give him your shout outs. Go to his Patreon. Support the dude. I mean, he totally deserves it. He always putting out content. And it makes me a little jealous, or not jealous. What's the right word? I guess I see the content that he puts out and the rate at which he does, and I know how busy the man is. Man, the man's a family man. But yeah, here's the Pi case.
Absolutely.
So I haven't actually slapped that on yet, but I have a retro Pi.
I haven't opened it up yet. But yeah, I definitely want to mess with this thing. So
the Super Pi case,
thank you so much for this. Yes,
Super Pi case.
Yes, and it's supposed to do the 3B plus, the 3B, the 2B, and the B plus.
Awesome. That fits all that.
Yeah.
So awesome. It's definitely a pretty sweet deal. So thanks to MVG for that stuff. And so yeah, I'm going to slap that on there, and probably I might not ever actually unbox the PlayStation Classic. I'm really debating if I'm really bored on a weekend. So part of my modding debt, how I can be part of me is thinking like I'm not going to open it until I'm actually going to mod it.
Right.
And really spend the time. And I know it's not going to take very long at all. I mean, it's a super simple freaking hack. So
it's copy and paste, edit, and INI file.
Yep. So I'm not worried about that at all. But I do have my RetroPie, and that is super appreciated. So thank you for the gifts, MVG. It's too much.
It is. It's too much, man. That's not even the other stuff that we talked about, like the other stuff we got. So yeah, Dintron, thank you so much for the. Would that be £5?
£5.
£5. Happy Christmas, guys. Really appreciate that shit. I'm one of those people.
Hey! He's lost the weight. Don't give him the pounds back. Just kidding.
I did. Yeah. So thank you so much for that stuff. Yeah. But yeah, no. Let's see what.
Is he saying you look too skinny?
I guess so. I was that was one of my highlights of ModChat this year. I was skinny shamed. You remember that, right?
Oh yeah.
some dude came in here one day, for anyone that doesn't know, and he said something along the lines of, "You all are way too skinny, need to eat more." And I'm like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. I've never been skinny shamed."
I've felt that my whole life, right? Like it doesn't bother me, honestly, because I came out the womb and I looked like a crack baby, and they actually were like, "This is a crack baby." Did I ever tell you about that?
No.
Yeah, no. Like they actually literally drug tested my mom, I guess, because they thought that I was like a crack baby.
I shouldn't be laughing, but
no, I wasn't. That's the good part. We're good, but that's just me, man.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And Tag Media, thank you so much for the $5 donation. So I'm sorry, I'll go ahead because we read things off. I'll prioritize this one. So why do you think more homebrew doesn't make use of the GPU, OG Xbox 360, PS2, etc.? Is it a limitation of open source SDKs or different with architecture? Devin, how much do you know on that one?
Well,
It should show up for you on your screen.
Yeah,
my
I
dude.
know. You just have yours up.
Okay, I understand.
I wasn't scrolled down, and I'm trying to keep track of some of the.
I want to agree
Q&A
with
stuff.
X41 here, where it's probably a limitation of the SDKs. Software development. Kit,
Yeah,
for
I
anybody
mean,
who doesn't know.
it probably, right? Because like enabling like full hardware support, right? Like by default, the way that for people who don't know, this could be very obvious to some, so I'm going to make this a little bit short and not try and drag this out. But basically, when you execute code by default, it's going to be executing on the CPU. We're talking about CPU cycles. So when you're talking about gigahertz speeds and stuff like that, it's basically, in layman's terms, don't hate me, don't send me, don't at me on this.
Don't at me, bro.
Right, it's about like how many cycles and how many how much code can be executed per second, in the most layman way possible. And you could have a CPU that is just 10,000 times more powerful than everything that could basically run as a GPU. But that's what a GPU is. A GPU is a kind of it's built similar to a CPU. It's the same kind of processing unit, but it's designed in a way to cater towards that. And a lot of times when you get these SDKs out there, like it doesn't have that like extra hardware support enabled, so you're running only on the CPU instead of utilizing the GPU, utilizing this other hardware, and that's usually an SDK related thing. So.
And that's a disappointing thing with those like homebrew SDKs as well too. I would say where
probably why a lot of people trend towards using like the like pirated
the official ones, even though they're not supposed
Yeah.
to. But yeah, although some scenes, like for example the Dreamcast scene, like for example, if you're developing Dreamcast homebrew right now in 2018 and you're using the official Sega SDK, you're lacking hard. Like there's so much better homebrew stuff that has come out, thankfully.
Yes, absolutely, dude. It's been really cool to kind of like see a lot of that evolve too.
Yep. My goodness. Let me see. One thing, Terracraft Gaming, I like this question here. What's your guys' thoughts on games being discounted so rapidly after release? That is one thing, Devin. If you've noticed, games seem to age as fast as bananas now.
Yeah.
In terms of price, I would say.
I mean, so I'm in a weird camp just because I buy my games digital and they
Okay.
don't usually get those kind of discounts.
Although, I mean, because you're, I guess, on PC and Switch, and the eShop has some. I'd say that the indie sales I've seen have been pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't paid attention to them too much. I mean, obviously, like Steam games go on sale, right? But usually, I said what I said about the PlayStation Classic earlier. But yeah, usually if something gets a price cut too early on, it's not a good sign.
No.
Right. Let me say, take the Switch last year. They did not. There was like no Black Friday deals for the Switch at all. And that's because it was selling well enough and doing well enough that they didn't need to do that. So probably not a good sign, but hey man, if you like the game and you can get it cheap, shoot.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sonny,
good God.
I don't even know what this means. Do you know?
No, I don't.
Sonny, without an extra donation, because we've had this problem in the past. You don't need to get our attention with the donation.
You don't.
But thank you very much. That was $20 from Sony Mac
McGillicuddy.
McGillicuddy. Thank you for remembering how you said that. Saxon equals joke account. This ain't algebra class, man. I don't know what you're talking about, but thank you. If you would give us an explanation on what you mean, because I'm so lost.
And please let us know if we're saying your last name properly.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
I don't know about you, but I take pride in trying to say things proper. I'm not the best. I'm not the best with accents. I'm not the best with any of that stuff like that necessarily. I'm not going to say that. But I appreciate people who take the effort into trying to say things appropriately. So I want to say your name, man. I want to say your name right.
Of course. There's one from way up here from Killamod. So, will Xbox One ever get a decent exploit? Opinions. It's unfortunately it's such a double combination of a lack of interest and also some wicked security that Microsoft implemented on there. People were really expecting the Xbox One to be cracked open, even myself, just from the previous two consoles. But Microsoft definitely learned from the previous two consoles. So I think at one point we're going to see it, but really you're going to have to crack BitLocker and the Windows architecture as a whole. And at that point, I'm pretty sure the people who are going to be hacking that up are going to care a lot more than just getting some free Xbox games or messing around with the Xbox One. Plus, honestly, having dev mode available, although it is limited on retail consoles, having it so readily available, I'm sure has really curbed a lot of that hacky exploity interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that for sure. You know, path of least resistance to an extent, right?
Yeah.
I think there are some people that get off on doing the impossible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely the challenge element there.
Yeah,
but
why did I mod this and this and this? Because I can.
like thinking back on it, with Microsoft's history and stuff like that, it's surprising that, you know, both the original Xbox and the Xbox 360 were actually like modded as quickly and as thoroughly as they were.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this round they took it way more seriously. Lily's just being a funny derpy dog. That's why we're laughing. She's a doggo right now. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, right? I'm not in the scene. I wish I could give you guys some inside info. I wish I could say that I'm part of some discords that are really breaking some news. But you know,
hacker discords.
Yeah, you know, sounds fun, but we ain't got time for that right now.
I mean, at the time, I just don't know if I want to put the effort into it.
Oh man,
that's me though.
I'm jealous of your time.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess one thing I'll grab this here. This is from Seth. This is a nice message here. Hi, I'm new to the channel. I'd like to say you guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you for the awesome content, and thank you again for that. I have a question for Paranoid Coder. If you could, I would say, offer any advice to an aspiring coder, what would it be? Let's dim the lights and get serious here for a little bit.
Yeah, sure, man. So I could definitely give you a little bit of advice. So coding is awesome. There's no age limit into getting into coding. Mm-hmm. I think that it's something that if you're interested in it, give it a good shot because it can take you far. And it's really all about like the amount of effort you put in. You know, you can advance really quickly, or it can be like reading a book where you have a book for a year and a half like I do. And you pick it up every once in a while and finally convince yourself to like turn a couple pages, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Sometimes it can be hard to like convince yourself to get started, but you know, I say go for it because at the minimum you might find a really cool hobby that just finds your interest, and those are never bad. If you want some advice on getting started, you know, I'm not a professional in terms of like getting people started. I had a really weird way of getting into coding, which was through like my first coding thing ever was PSP Homebrew, and I was way over my it was way over my head. And it was overwhelming, and for whatever reason, I found the interest and was able to kind of persevere through that and actually made some stuff. Because I remember the first thing I ever read was like, to start this, you should really be proficient with like Linux and the C programming language.
Mm-hmm. And I remember you were telling me like you didn't even know what the hell C was.
No,
aside
not
from
really.
The third letter in the alphabet.
Yeah, like maybe I had heard of it. Like I don't really know what C is. Maybe I've heard of it in the terms of a programming language, but what does that mean? I don't know. We're gonna give this a shot anyway. Mm-hmm. So, you know, not what I would advise. Don't go into like some like homebrew hacking stuff right away. But if you want to get started and you haven't really done anything, definitely check out Code Academy.
Another beer.
Okay, go for it. Definitely check
my
out
last one in the fridge.
Definitely check out CodeAcademy.com, not Code Academy. So just take off the A on Academy, but codeacademy.com. There are quite a few courses on there. You have a development environment built into the browser, so you don't have to download anything extra. They validate your code in the browser, so there's no... I mean, they don't exactly hold your hand through the entire thing, so you do have to, like, try. You know, they're not going to tell you all your mistakes necessarily, but you're not just completely left on your own. You've got it in the browser. I believe there even is some, like, forums or some kind of, like, community section that I've never really explored myself, where you can talk about stuff, suggest answers, or whatever. So codeacademy.com may not be the be-all, end-all to get started in coding, but they've got a lot of different courses with Java. They've got Python, Ruby. They even added a C++ course, which is really cool because that's one of their first more low-level courses that they have. So definitely check that out. Just go through some courses. Try and find maybe what you actually like, because there's a big difference between working in Python, working in web, you know, with HTML, whatever, and even, you know, down the lines from there, things get, you know, different and more complicated. Just learning a little bit of HTML is different than working in something more complicated like an Angular framework or using the React libraries to actually build like a dynamic, really responsive website. So yeah, I would say explore Codecademy. It's free. There are pro courses and stuff like that, but there's so much free content. That is where I point people always.
Ditto.
Was that good enough?
Yeah. No, I mean, you're the coder here, not me.
Cool.
So, yeah. I mean, I'll mess around with a few scripts here and there, but that's about it.
You damn script kitty.
I am.
By the way,
Truly.
Epic Martin told me, Devin, go home and be a family man. Boy, I am living that independent life. You know what I'm saying? I live on my own. Ain't got no family yet.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I mean, I've got family, but just no children.
Of course.
No children, no wife
course.
yet, so I'm here on stream.
Jesus Christ.
Let's see, what else we got?
Yeah, you go ahead and pull some stuff.
All right, I'm going to look real quick. I didn't have one lined up, honestly, that took
good.
my full attention.
Oh, good. I know I've gotten the past 3 questions in a row, so I don't want to be the question hog here, you know?
You dang hog.
I'm just a pig.
Well, if you see one, let me know. I'm browsing right now.
I mean, I've got some newer questions here, but if we have an older one that we haven't touched,
I'm pretty much caught up that I didn't really see anything crazy. By the way, if we missed your older question, we're not trying to dodge questions, I don't think, really. So feel free to I don't know, repost your question.
Absolutely, yeah. I guess it's more of a recommendation.
You want to do
sure.
Blueno CP9? Did you see that one?
All right.
I got a Vita Q, y'all. I got Enzo still on my Vita's internal memory, but a Vita homebrew app corrupted my memory card, so Vita Shell died. How can I get Vita Shell with USB pass-through again on a newer card?
Holy shit, y'all fucked up, man.
You know way more about that than I do. I still haven't copped a Vita yet and gone down that path.
To be honest, because I haven't run into that issue, I wouldn't know directly on there. Well, if it got corrupted on there, I would think that what you could do is you could just run Encore again and re-download Vita Shell through that, and that should be fine. That's what I would do. But look it up as well.
Seems legit.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm going to have to top this off with just eggnog. I'm about done drinking here.
Oh, yeah, you got to drive back.
Yeah, I do. I do. I've been putting the little small drips in, you know what I mean? I've been putting
drip.
little half shots, but
I feel that.
now I'm going to get someone who's going to go and count all my half shots.
I've never mentioned this on here before, but I wonder if this would get demonetized because of the alcohol influence.
The thought juice.
I have no idea. We'll see. I guess we'll see. There's been a few episodes, it's funny, where they get demonetized temporarily, and I'm like, bro, we didn't talk about anything inappropriate.
Come
appeal.
on, guys.
And then within 2 hours, it gets appealed.
And we even do a good job. Anytime we tread in some sketchy territory, we have lots of disclaimers. We're on the right side of the fence, I think.
It's just certain keywords like hack and such will throw it off. So. Yeah.
Good thing we're not showing you how to hack on the stream.
I guess. Now, Dintron kind of had more of a comment here. And guys, if you have any other questions, please drop them in the chat. We'd love to answer them because this is what this episode is about. It's about interacting with you all. But Dintron is saying here, not so much as a question, as a recommendation. Play the PSP version for anybody who's listening, especially because everyone here who's watching and probably read it. Play the PSP version of Persona Revelations. Persona. Revelations Persona is a really bad version. They chopped up the game, removed 50% of the game, and westernized the game. I didn't know about that at all. So Revelations Persona is just the first Persona on PS1.
Okay.
For anyone who does not know. And that's actually on this thing right
So
here.
is that what the PSP version of the Persona, or the Persona PSP game based off of or something? Because I actually have never played a Persona game.
It is I guess, would it be, it's not a remake, remaster, whatever, somewhere in between.
Kind of like
the first one on PSP. So.
Inspired by?
Not inspired by, because it's still that game, but it just has a lot of stuff that's probably just, it's been reported, I guess you can say.
Dentron also says they turned... Wow. That seems really interesting. They turned an Asian guy black and turned all of his dialogues into Ebonics. Wow.
They did.
They don't do that again, guys.
Yeah.
Let's not do that again.
I know exactly what character he's talking about. Yeah, he's very Ebonic. I've never played a ROM I've never played an English patched version of it, so I didn't know. Man. And I've never really looked into that. So.
Full US Pokemon treatment. Thanks, Dentron, for hanging out in the chat. It's good to see you again. I should check out Persona, honestly. And I've got a PSP lying around, so that would actually be a decent console to whip it up on. It'd be a good excuse to actually break out my PSP again.
Absolutely. Oh man, and he's even saying here the PSP version is the complete version with 100% of the content. So now I know for sure that is the one that we're supposed to play.
Mm-hmm.
I need to play through the first two. I've played even the first three. I played through Persona 4, and I'm a bit of the way through Persona 5, but I'm honestly really, really hoping that it will get ported to Switch, and I'd love to play it on there. That's just me.
By the way, just kind of following up on the whole like getting started in development question, X41 here, good friend of the show. Python is the lang that I recommend everyone for starting out with as well. And, you know, I could definitely agree. I've only dabbled in Python enough to, like, I don't know, be functional. I've never, like, actually really invested in a major project. We have some stuff at work that I end up modifying, but I've never done a huge Python project myself. But it is a really great language that's super powerful, continuing to be relevant, right? There's a lot of stuff that's out there for it, and popularity in a language is definitely something that I think probably people don't realize is super important starting out. When you're talking about libraries that are available, reusable code that you can just grab off the internet, support different, you know, Q&A that you find online where people are already answering the questions you're asking, you know, that says a lot about it, and it's really not too difficult to get involved in. When you're talking about like programming languages like C, C++, some really low-level languages, you have to worry about things like memory management, which I won't get into here, but it complicates things a bit for the average person that just wants to get started in programming with logic, just logical flows, and just actually like getting something on the screen. You don't want to worry about like managing the actual like memory or like RAM allocation, kind of like you have to like bring objects into memory and destroy them manually, and it can be something that can overwhelm a new person getting in development. And you know, there are ways to really optimize that stuff, so it's good for embedded systems, and it's really good for a lot of different projects if you really need to squeeze out that optimization. But a lot of these languages handle that stuff for you. So yeah, I definitely couldn't agree more. Python is a great language to start out with.
For sure. So let's see, I can well, here, I guess this is kind of one we were reiterating, but any updates on a 64 Classic? I mean, we kind of talked about that already. Reggie's official answer from Nintendo was, we're not going to say no, but we're going to say that we have no plans to pursue one. Also, what is your view on being able to see a PS2 Classic taking into account the available tech? I'd fucking love that. Because the PS2 had some awesome games, but the problem is, the PS2's video output quality is bougie. And I'm not talking about the resolution. I'm not talking about the graphics. I'm talking about that video output quality is disgusting.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. I can show you like the same game, for example, on a GameCube through Component or HDMI adapter. I can show you, let's say Component for all of these systems. I can show you the same game with the same resolution on Component, Xbox, and PS2. Well, fucking hell. GameCube, Xbox, PS2. GameCube and Xbox will look great. Xbox will probably look the best out of those. But the PS2 will just the image quality will look so bad.
Dang. I guess I never really noticed back in the day.
Yeah,
I haven't played a PS2 in quite a while, to be honest.
Now you won't notice, but like if we go downstairs and I show you that, you'll be like, oh man, this looks bad. It looks like you're hooking it up through a VCR or something compared to the other systems.
Now, he was talking about the PS2 Classic, right?
Mm-hmm. If there was ever a PS2 Classic.
Do you know if that is actually due to the games themselves or the hardware?
No, it would be the hardware. It's the hardware, unfortunately.
Maybe they can, like, you know, make it a little better.
Yeah,
but after the PlayStation Classic,
one thing I will say they fucked up on was the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo Classic actually used the same board. Mm-hmm. So Nintendo was able to recycle that. This motherfucking thing is so custom that they're not going to be able to do that easily for the PS2.
Not to mention the PS1 is already a bit of a step up in terms of like power consumption compared to these two other boards. And the PS2 is going to be another step up, right? Yeah. Whereas, like, when you, like, it's almost like you couldn't buy a board cheap enough to only run the NES Classic stuff, right? You could not buy a board shitty enough to only run that well. You're going to end up actually, like, getting something that can run more. It's like buying, like, a RetroPie. It's like, I only want to make this for NES stuff. Well, guess what? It actually is more powerful enough, and you can't buy a Retro or a Raspberry Pi board that is, like, cheap enough to only run NES.
Of course.
But when you start hitting PS1, PS2 territory, you're going to actually run into those limitations.
I was going to say, I mean, the Raspberry Pi, for example, that can run through RetroPie, can run like up to PSP.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't tried. Probably the most intensive game console I've tried is the PlayStation 1, and it ran surprisingly well.
Yeah. And then you go over to what the hell is it? Which system? Then you go over to N64, which you think should be okay. And N64 emulation is it's so
We've talked about this before. I'm
We
sure
have.
on stream. I'm sure we have. But yeah, someone even mentioned that earlier in the chat. It's like, why N64 Classic? Like, well, yeah, if they can get the emulation down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and Nintendo has done okay in the past with Wii and Wii U Virtual Console stuff.
I didn't even know this, but the Wii actually only had like 21 or 23 N64 Virtual Console games.
Yeah, it's not that many.
Not many at all. And I think there's about 300 N64 games. So
That's actually not that many.
not that many at all. Yeah. It's funny. The N64 has all the nostalgia, but it technically lost the console war against the PS1.
Oh, yeah, totally.
PS1 sold a good amount more than the N64. But we
Yeah,
all
but-
remember the N64.
The N64 was in McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever do that?
I didn't see those. No.
Oh, man.
No. In my local McDonald's, we didn't have that.
Oh, man,
we didn't
dude.
have that.
Dude, yeah, it was an awesome time. Like when we go to the McDonald's Play Place, and instead of getting on the slides, like I was playing freaking Star Wars Pod Racers, man.
Now, question: how were the controllers on those? Were they like
No.
greasy and broken?
No, not really. I mean,
Really?
maybe greasy, but my child mind didn't care. But the analog sticks were fine.
Your child
Like,
mind was a filthy
yeah,
animal.
Like the rubber bands and the analog sticks were not like crazy worn out from what I remember. Like it was very playable, but this was, however long ago. Like it was a while ago. So, I'm sure over time they got broken, they got whatever, because the Nintendo 64 controllers were not the most durable things.
Mm-hmm.
But they were awesome. Little like, I don't know, there was like, 8 different like games lined up, and it was like an arcade
I
system.
never tried this, dude. I never tried this because I didn't see it.
Dude, that makes me so sad.
I'm sorry I made you depressed.
No, I mean it makes me want to like find a place that like has like retro games and maybe has one of those old cabinets.
As long as it's clean, I'll touch it.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not a germphobe, but like, I mean,
You're a germaphobe.
I'm not a germaphobe,
just
but I
kidding,
mean,
man.
I'm just thinking of all the chicken nuggets and the
Yeah.
fries, and then you touch oh my god, dude. I remember I was so pissed one time because I like when I had the original Xbox, one of my friends came over and fucking ate like the chicken wings I had in my fridge and was eating them while he was playing my Xbox, and when he left, my fucking controller, which was the only one I had, was so greasy. It was like the floor of a KFC. I was mad.
Did it smell like it too?
I didn't smell it. I just cleaned it. Yeah. Oh man. One thing I wanna answer from Zach, and that's all his name is, Zach. Why do you guys think the PS4 scene lacks homebrew in comparison to the other scenes? I think it's because there's no straight up here you go big SDK solution. We do have a few solutions out there. I know Mira has some things out there, and there's things that are also still in the works. But there's so much stuff that still kind of has to come to the developer forefront, and even the things that are out there, they're released in files here and there on Mega, and then put on Twitter, and then put on this place. But there's no like comprehensive, hey, this is a really good, robust PS4 open source SDK, and I know that something like that is in the works, but we're just not seeing it. Because I can count on one hand how many actual pieces of homebrew we have on the PS4, and everything else is just pirated games. I guess backup in this case. Like, I actually rip my own games and then compile them and then put them over. But it's disappointing because we can definitely have some nice stuff on the PS4, and unfortunately we just don't. We just don't, Devin.
Well said. I'm hopefully going to be getting a PS4 in the next, I don't want to put it, probably month.
Okay.
Because I really want to get the Kingdom Hearts game.
Oh, yeah.
Probably won't be modding it.
Did you see the story about Kingdom Hearts 3 getting out?
No.
Oh my god. So no spoil. I'm not dropping
What?
spoilers. I'm not dropping spoilers for anyone that doesn't know.
Hashtag no spoilers.
There was a box of 30 copies of Kingdom Hearts 3, which amazes me because, Devin, it exists.
No.
It exists.
No.
It exists, okay? I think it's coming out January 29th. I believe that's the date. But either way, a box of 30 copies of Kingdom Hearts 3 for the Xbox One ended up landing in someone's hands, and he took pictures of them, and he showed him installing the game on his Xbox One. So he put them up on Facebook Marketplace for $100 a piece, and he was slapped immediately by Square Enix. And apparently, Tetsuya Nomura even came out and said, guys, we are investigating this. We're sorry this happened. But, and I think this is going to be really disappointing later on, but I'm sure that they anticipate this. He said that the epilogue and the ending, like the ending and the secret ending, are not available right now. So that leads me to believe that they're going to patch in extra content, which is good short term to prevent those things from being spoiled. But preservation-wise, I don't like that.
Yeah, that's a really, really, really interesting thing.
Yeah, it's very good for the short term, but for the long term, I don't like
Especially,
that.
I mean, we look at Smash and like even like Pokemon Let's Go was leaked early, and I'm sure more and more games you're going to be finding that like could be leaked early.
It's funny because like Smash, that was leaked 2 weeks early, and I guess I don't know. Because I've seen things leak much earlier in advance. Like Halo 4 leaked a month early. I remember back in the day, Gorillaz Demon Days, that album leaked out like 2 or 3 months early.
Oh, no way.
It did.
I wasn't paying attention to Gorillaz as much back then.
I was, but it leaked out like 2 or 3 months early. This game here, Kingdom Hearts 3, leaked out a month and a half early. A month and a half early. That is crazy. I'm happy that it exists because this does prove that the game exists. But you
still can't believe it. Almost, it's like it's been too long,
dude. I can't believe it. Like
Man,
when I saw those pictures, I wasn't
was
like
it junior high when Kingdom Hearts 2 came, or was it high school? I can't. I think it was junior high.
Junior high for us.
It was junior high.
Yeah, when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out.
It's been a long time, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's one of my favorite games too. I mean, I love Kingdom Hearts. My ball is not cooperating.
Ball.
Oh. All right.
All right.
That was a pretty good tangent. I want to address this if we can.
Go ahead. Take like 1 or 2 questions.
X41. If you want questions, I've got one for you, drunk axes.
Uh-oh.
Keep in mind, X41, friend of the show.
Yeah.
Love him. As anyone who really been far has decided to is even go want to do look more like. What do you got to say about that, Mr. Mario? He took a drink for the people on audio.
And I have said my piece.
Yeah. Cheers?
Cheers. Absolutely.
Get the clink on audio.
Oh, man.
Man, we got to do at least one cheers in the show. That was good.
Yeah, we have to.
That was the one to do it on. X41, thank you. Thank you very much. Keep them coming. That was impressive. That took some effort.
My goodness. Yeah.
Okay, what do you guys, did you already say this? I don't think so. What do you guys think of DCH DMI?
I didn't even know what the hell this was, so I looked it up. It looks like it's from Black Dog Technology.
Oh, you actually had that was on the screen. I didn't even see.
I looked it up here, yeah. Oh, actually, excuse me, that's the wrong thing. I need to open it up in my other browser. Let me do that real quick if it's showing up here.
You dirty Chrome user.
I have to use 2 fucking browsers for this shit. Oh, man. No, look in here. So this is DCH DMI kit. So I don't know about this. I'm learning about it right now. The only digital to digital Dreamcast solution available. Integer scaling, in-game reset, correct aspect ratio compared to other analog to HDMI solutions. I mean, I think this is cool. If anything can really get out there and
It's got Wi-Fi
further.
updates?
I saw that, yeah.
That's pretty interesting. It's almost unnecessary, but whatever. I feel
Point is,
goodness, dude, that's getting the gurgles are coming.
This is what happens when I drink a fizzy. All right? So if I'm always supportive of anything that can boost the quality on here, I just question how many people are really going to be copping it because we have other really good external solutions for the Dreamcast, which I think almost anyone would choose a good external solution over an internal solution like this, especially because the external solutions are cheaper than this, and there's HDMI ones available. Now, yes, this one is digital to digital, so I think that's going to appeal to a small group of Dreamcast fanatics. But when it comes to... Devin's just walking away. When it comes to really, I guess the purists will thoroughly enjoy it. But anyone else, I'm not sure about it. I think this is cool. I'd like to try it out if given the opportunity, but I don't know how well it's going to be. Let's even look at the install instructions here. Let's check this out together, all right? Let me bring this up here, all right. Okay. All right. I'm not going to go through this whole thing because that's going to be a little bit depressing. But everyone, give a F in chat for Dintron, because he's out of booze apparently. Right now, Devin is unfortunately using the restroom, so I'm just here alone. Now let's see if I can grab something else on here. Hopefully you all are doing okay. Now let's see. Bluino CP9 is asking another question here. What DLC in Smash Ultimate you think will be a thing? I think Banjo might be one, but Nintendo will probably go for modern day popular characters. I'm going to agree with you. I think they're going to go for popular characters. Which characters they're going to go for, I honestly have no idea. You're asking me, the wrong person, about that. I mean, I was certainly surprised to see that Cloud Strife and Bayonetta were some of the characters that we got on Wii U. But when it comes to any of the other characters that are going to come out, I haven't even been following it that much. I'm going to be straight with you. I haven't even been following it all that much. Banjo-Kazooie seems to be getting a good amount of hype. Could we see something from Kingdom Hearts, like Sora, maybe? I voted for Sora for Smash for Wii U. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'll kind of pass this on to Devin as well, too, as he comes back. Hello, Lily.
She gonna behave?
I don't know if she's going to behave. Is she going to behave?
Really?
I have no idea.
Oh, she's...
No, she knows to stay away this time. Tag Media, thank you so much for the $2 donation. He's asking, any chance of a New Year's Eve special this year? Absolutely not. I do have a video planned for New Year's, but we typically do not do New Year's specials on here.
No, and I've actually got some plans on New Year's too, pretty much probably like at this point all day. So, it is what it is. It would be nice. Mm-hmm. It'd be fun, I'm sure, but this is our last hurrah.
Absolutely.
We got to do it big.
Yeah. Dude, for my New Year's going into this year, my girlfriend and I split a bottle of wine and watched The Shining, and it was awesome. Like, that's my ideal New Year.
Ooh.
That was a good one.
Little Pump.
Yeah. But yeah, actually...
For the record, I'm not like a Little Pump fan, but his antics, man. His ad-libs.
There was... Oh, my... Okay, here. So, question. I poorly answered this because I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
But what DLC in Smash Ultimate you think will be a thing? I think Banjo might be one, but Nintendo will probably go for modern-day popular characters. So, he was the proper one to ask about this. As you answer this, I'm going to pop the seal.
Oh, okay, man. Following the trend. It's okay. I'm sorry I influenced you. I'm going to be that guy. Oh, well, I guess, okay. Is there the DLC that I think would happen? Or is there the DLC that I want to happen? I, like many others, would love to see some Shrek. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Goku, man, I don't think it's going to happen, honestly. I really, 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 really don't think it's going to happen, especially with some of the games like, Dragon Ball Fighter Z coming out and, getting pretty well received from what I've seen. I haven't played it yet, but I'd love to. It's on my list, my wish list on the Switch. But, like, some of Fighter like Goku, I think, would be really awesome. I think it was super cool to see Street Fighter characters come into the scene, and I think they've done really well. I really enjoy playing as Ryu myself, so... I don't know. I think that would be really cool. I don't know if it's going to be a thing for something that I actually think would be a possibility, man. That's really tough. Probably one of my top things would have been Splatoon, but that got announced and released, obviously, out of the gate. I don't know. That's a real tough one. Maybe I'll come back to you guys on something that I actually think would legitimately happen, because Banjo-Kazooie is a really, really good option. I don't know. Maybe even like a Crash Bandicoot, maybe. Sony character, obviously, but the universe has been shaken up a little bit before. So what do you think about... So my vote, Mr. Mario's coming back. I said what I would like to see, which is just trending the memes, is Shrek.
What?
Shrek.
Shrek? Yeah. Oh, that would be cool.
No, my actual answer was Goku.
Dude. My parents, I was so proud of them. I modded their Wii U because they wanted to have meme characters in there.
Nice. Told me that.
I ended up putting Sans, Uganda Knuckles, Shrek,
Uganda Knuckles,
and one other character in there. No, Shadow. That was it. And then they would were bringing over their friends and showing them this, and their friends are just freaking out about it.
That's so awesome.
It was so great.
So I actually have a coworker he's an older guy. I mean, he's like a parent, right? I mean, he's not an old.
He's a dad. You're saying?
Yeah, he's a dad. Thoroughly in dad mode, but he brought up recently, he was like, do you know the way meme? Do you know the way meme? And I was like, what? He goes, my kids. He just every 10 seconds, do you know the way? And I was just like, oh my God. I was like, first of all, it's a little old, but he's just like, well, yeah. God. But his kids are a little bit younger, right? They're in elementary school. And so like, it was funny to see the trickle effect, right? Like to see it go from like mainstream meme to probably high school meme to probably like elementary school meme. Mm-hmm. And his kids were like, he was like, have you heard of this? And it was just like, yes, Derek. It's hilarious still. I'm not saying it's like burn out or something like that, but yeah,
that was
funny.
an interesting meme to have near the beginning of the year.
I guess so.
It was.
It's been a quick ass year.
It has been. By the way, I want to say, so this is not like this is a comment, not a question, but Castlemania Games is saying, I love the Mr. Mario show. Castlemania, I'm pretty sure I've ordered 2 SCART RGB cables from you, one for the PlayStation, one for the Saturn. Haven't used the Saturn one yet. Your cables are awesome. I'm very surprised, and I'm appreciative that you are a fan of the channel here and the show. So thank you so much. But as for a question, so
wait, hold on a second. I get a
what?
I just want to get a little Hodge Twins on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, do you have a question that you want to answer on here, or should I?
Not yet. No. So if you want to, if you've got one, go for it.
Sure. So, should I go for the Xbox One X for them OG Xbox 4K remaster games?
Ooh.
Or do you think Microsoft will have OG backwards compatibility with the next console they make?
OG?
I'm gonna say the OG Xbox remaster games, they're in a funny situation. They look so beautiful that you see all the flaws with them.
Yeah.
It was cool to play around with it for sure, but that shouldn't be the only reason why you're getting the Xbox One X. But if you can find one for a good price, I'd recommend it. Hopefully next month, we'll finally have my Xbox One X unboxing impression review video coming out. I got one earlier this year, so hopefully people can look forward to that. Miro, thank you so much for the €5
son of a gun.
donation. I know that guy. He's a cool guy. So.
Really?
Yeah, we talk about nothing, nowhere, and sad things. It's great.
Oh, God. Which, okay, first of all, all he had to say was...
But by the way, sorry. I was going to say, let me finish this up real quick. With the next console they make, I don't know if Xbox is going to do, like, backwards compatibility on the next system. I don't know. We don't know. Anyways, go ahead.
Man, these people think we're, like, in the industry or something, man.
They do.
Man, I make, like...
My ass is in the industry.
For the record, I don't know. I've ever said... God damn it. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. I'm a software developer, but I literally work for a sports tech company, and I'm not even like into sports that at all.
They just need someone who knows code.
Yeah, no, and it's like an awesome perspective that I can bring to the table as someone who is totally like pulled away from the sports. You know what I mean? I don't have any of that emotional attachment to the sports or the sports teams or whatever. But yeah, no, we're not that close. Although, I mean, we've got some good people, man, that have given us like a drop here or there. You know what I mean?
It's surprising the knowledge you can see with people. Like, there's one person. So, like, my day job, the product stack I work on. There's one dude who is a friggin' wizard with the project, like the stack I work with, and he knows everything about this product. Friggin' wizard when it comes to this, right? And absolutely a smart man, but he's got a little bit of a soft spot for these consoles here, specifically, the PlayStation. So he was actually asking me about this. He likes the PlayStation and the Genesis, but he saw this on my desk one day. He was asking me about it, and he was utterly perplexed at the fact that you could take a PlayStation game and rip it to your PC and then take that image file and load it up on here. He had absolutely no inkling or idea that you could do anything like that.
And when you learn like, there was a certain kind of power in like, I don't know when the first time you ever modded a console was, but I was about 12.
I was about that same age. Like that.
And
probably a little younger, but yeah.
That broke the seal, the proverbial seal, where nothing surprises me. Even back then, right? Like, literally, the day I got my PSP, I was like, can I hack this? And people were like, you've been able to hack it since day one, basically. Yep. And I was like even day 0 for US, right? Like, when it was released in Japan.
Yeah, because I think we only did that because of 1.5. Yep. Because you could do stuff on 1.0, but there was a update file available for 1.5.
Yep.
So that's why 1.5 was the gold standard for a while.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's funny to hear that because I'm so used to it that it's like, well, yeah. Like, I'm not surprised if something's not available, but when something is available, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
All right. All right.
All right. Fine.
I do want to make a comment real quick.
You
When I was
do.
talking about the Smash stuff just a little bit ago, I guess we both were. Zach said Parappa in Smash. Yes, please.
That would be cool.
Parappa the Rappa. Oh man, that is one of my
That would
favorite
be cool.
PlayStation games. I guess it was PS1, right?
PS1? Yeah.
Yep.
He had Parappa the Rapper on PS1, and then it was ported to PSP.
Yep.
And then the PSP port was ported to PS4, which we covered on here. And then Parappa the Rapper 2 came out on PS2. And that was it.
I never played Parappa the Rappa 2, but I
It
did
was
play the
fun.
first one, and I actually don't even know, I don't think I had the real game on PlayStation 1. I think I only had a demo disc.
I think everyone had that demo disc.
Yeah, it was a good demo disc, man. It was a good one. I don't remember what else was on it, but Parappa the Rappa, man, that was awesome. But I got it on PSP, and I beat the crap out of that game so many times. In fact, like, Parappa the Rappa is definitely one that I wish was on the PlayStation Classic, as well as Guitaru Man. Ooh,
I need to play through Guitaru, man.
dude, it's so good. I've
I need
beaten
to
it
play
several
it.
times. It's
Nice.
so good. It's so good.
Was it? Wait, was that on PSP? Really?
Yeah, Guitaru Man lives.
Oh, I knew about the original on PS2. I
Yeah,
didn't know
no,
about
they
the PSP version.
direct port.
All right.
Direct port, dude. If you ever want to like play it on the go and with the PSP analog stick, it works. Like it's all you need. I'm sorry, the nub.
The nub.
Yeah.
Oh damn! I had a. Here, I have one question from Jackson here. Let's see. What is your best idea on upscaling or just converting retro consoles' video audio output to today's 1080p plus TV show product if you can? Well, I can't show the product, unfortunately, because I'd have to go downstairs and grab it. I would say I personally use a FrameMeister. Now, granted, those small fuckers are expensive, all right? So I don't recommend it unless you're really serious about it. Unless you're modding your systems for RGB output, you're willing to buy the cables, all that stuff, because it's expensive. The device itself is $400.
Holy shnikes.
Yeah. So
Whoa.
it's funny because I've had this discussion with friends and they're like, "Hey, how's the FrameMeister? It's awesome. Do you recommend it?" Yeah. And we talk about it. And then in the end, they're just like, "Oh, hey, so would you recommend buying it?" I'm like, "Not really, because it's so expensive." So any of these, I mean, let's say money's not an option. That's definitely a good revision to get, like the FrameMeister. But if I was to buy one right now, I would more look for the open source scan converter, the OSSC for short, because you can bump that up to resolutions higher than 1080p, and you can even do some weird resolutions like 960p and all that stuff that are actually going to upscale a little bit cleaner than going from 240p to 1080p
Yeah.
or 480i to 1080p. So that's what I would recommend, probably. Like if I was able to go, like if I would go back in time, an OSSC with HDMI output on there would be my ideal solution. I think there's like the Retro Tink. That's another one, and that's more of a budget one that looks good. But the OSSC, I've really been eyeing that, and
Very
it's a
nice.
little bit cheaper. Yeah.
Just some good ass Q&A questions this time around, man.
God. Yeah.
Hey man, let it out. You're starting to hold
That's
back. I can feel it.
I've been told by a third party I need to stop burping. So much.
Lily. Don't even go there, Lily. You have no room to
man.
talk. Also, the boy Epic Martin 7 said
What
sandbag and smash.
Sandbag and smash.
You know what I'm talking about? The sandbag, like the mini game where you like hit the sandbag to like see how far you can make it fly.
I
It's
know what
like,
you're talking about. Yeah.
that would be a pretty sweet character, though. Like, I think you would have to have some innovative, like, attacks, obviously. Like, something to, like, really, like, bring him all together and actually make him, like,
Maybe this is the alcohol talking, but what if Leafy is here? His big comeback is him coming to Smash officially.
Yes, that's the... What are you drinking on right now? Let's just let the viewers, let the audio listeners know.
This is the rosé variant
dude.
of
Okay.
the Angry Orchard.
So
hard
the rosé
cider.
is actually not bad.
It's not bad.
It actually is
I think my
pretty good.
favorite is still like the crisp apple.
Yeah.
That's the original.
Sure.
Oh, that's the best one.
Now, again, like, I'm the kind of
Everyone
person...
drink responsibly, okay?
Yes,
I don't have to go anywhere.
correct.
I have to go upstairs. That's it.
Me too. Sure, we'll go with that. But the Rosé Angry Orchard X is actually really good. I've had it one time, but it was definitely for me one of those beers, ciders, I guess, whatever you want to call it, where I could drink one, even like half of one, and any more would make the teeth start rotten. Like it just, man, sugar like and obviously my teeth aren't rotting. But it hits my mouth so heavy.
I understand.
I give you props for like powering through a few of these, man.
It's been fun.
Well done.
These ones, I mean, they taste so nice, so that's why I just keep drinking them and drinking.
You see
them,
this, right? You see this, right?
I'm not doing anything. What are you talking?
You're not gonna give me a dap, man.
Oh, I thought you were pointing to me like
The stream saw what happened. Try to give my boy props. That's what I get.
I'm so sorry.
Parappa was an All-Stars, PlayStation All-Stars?
He was.
I did not know that.
He's a good character.
Really?
Yeah. PlayStation All-Stars was, oh my god, I played that so much on the Vita. That is a fun game.
Blueno CP9. Blueno CP9. That is awesome. I didn't actually know that. I've never played PlayStation All-Stars, but and honestly, like I discounted a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie because I've been a Smash fan for so long. I'm not gonna hate on it. You know what I mean? But it definitely wasn't something that was gonna grab my attention, similar to Smash would. But that is awesome. Actually, that is really cool. I would love to play as him.
One of my friends lovingly called it Sony Smash Bros, and that was a very accurate representation of what it was.
Sony Smash version.
Oh, Sony Smash version. Yeah, he called it, I guess, slightly different variant. We used to call it Sony Smash Bros.
Basically, though. X41 also said, like, referring back to the PSP, like, hacking stuff, 1.0 didn't have any checking, which I believe is right. Like, it had no signature checks.
No,
like,
none.
Literally, as long as you had, like, a tool chain to compile the fucking shit.
The problem was with that, it was just so hard to legally obtain the 1.0 firmware because you had to dump it off of you had to decrypt and dump it off of a 1.0 system, which was of course hard to find, and then you had to distribute that, which technically you couldn't. However, Sony did put out a PSP update file for 1.5, which is again why 1.5 was the gold standard.
And why do you think they call it update? Like why do you gotta chip off the? I mean, dang.
8-character limitation.
It was there though?
Yeah, there was. I just know because one of my coder friends, we were updating my PS3 one day, and he made note of that because it's a PS3 updat.pup file.
But like, gosh dang, like file size, like or file name character limits are so long on basically like every other operating system. It's just interesting.
Yeah. Hey man, this is PlayStation stuff, all right?
Right.
Oh man, you go ahead and grab something. The alcohol's really kicking in for me. I hope this has been an enjoyable show for you all.
Okay.
So,
Blueno CP9, I'm sorry for giving you so much love, my man, but you know what? You're holding us down. You've been here before. I seen you. So I'm going to give you another one. Another Q&A for you beautiful nerds. Thank you very much. You're beautiful too, man. I have 2 Wii U consoles that I will be modding soon. I heard it's simple, but will I be able to use the same SD card to mod both consoles, or do I need another? I think you can use the same as I guess I don't know what is Emunand like still a thing? It's not really.
Emunand is still a thing. Yeah.
Is it like a main deal? I guess you can use it without it now,
you can
right?
use it without Emunand, and then even the modifications like for cold boot hacks and all that stuff, it's recommended you install them to the internal. So technically you could use the same SD card, but flash storage is so cheap right now,
I wouldn't
especially.
recommend it.
Just buy 2 SD cards, my dude. Just do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you absolutely had to in a pinch, hey man, you know, I'm not gonna project what your situation is. I'm just gonna give you my situation. I was there where I was a literal 13-year-old kid who couldn't afford another micro stick duo.
Me too.
Or memory stick duo.
Now, granted,
memory stick duo.
Memory stick duos were a lot more expensive
They
than the shit that we get
were,
now.
But I get it. So, like, you know, if it comes down to it, I think you could probably pull it off. If you don't, Emunand would probably be a little bit weird. I've never tried to load a separate Emunand on a different console.
I don't think you could do that.
I don't think you could
I don't
either.
think you could do that. Just don't do it,
I just wouldn't recommend it. That sounds problematic right off the bat. But yeah, if you're just going straight off the NAND or whatever, you know, I think you probably would be okay.
Yeah.
Let us know, man. Hit us up on Twitter.
Absolutely.
If you try it out, definitely let us know. I think it would be extremely
Twitter's
interesting.
one of the best places to get a hold of us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mr. Mario 2011 and Paranoid Coder.
This is one thing from Castlemania Games here. So this is kind of following up, you know, the
I just want
frame
for all the audio listeners, literally Mr. Mario is using his beer as a pointing device at this point.
Don't judge me. So Castlemania Games is saying there, because this is kind of replying back to a few minutes ago when we were talking about the FrameMeister, the OSSC, and the RetroTink. He's saying the RetroTink is good for retro consoles like the Super Nintendo, Nintendo, Genesis, etc., prior to 480p, since it only accepts up to 480i. I did not know that. Okay. It does accept S-Video and Composite, though, where the OSSC doesn't. I use both, is what he's saying. So, yeah, the RetroTink would, I guess, be good for those older solutions like that. But I guess if you're looking for a more encompassing solution, OSSC. FrameMeister's still good, don't get me wrong, but the OSSC is still getting some pretty nice updates. And again, you can do weird resolutions with that, and you can do resolutions higher than 1080p.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So you're more of a collector than I am, right?
Just a tiny bit. I mean, just a tiny bit, as you can see.
Hey, man, I got all these too. I even got the PAL version, man. I even got the PAL version.
You did.
Of the
I need to
SNES.
see that, by the way.
Yeah, dude, I'm glad to show you. It's actually on my. It's in front of my TV. It's
nice.
one of those I've actually unboxed and played.
Lovely.
But yeah, I do want to pick up an American version before.
Do you ever have anybody ask you why your Super Nintendo looks so weird?
No, in fact, people don't really notice, and then I show them the controllers, and that's when they usually trip out a little. Because when you have the multi-button controller or multicolored button controllers, people like
those ones look really nice. Yeah, I like the multicolor.
That's actually part of the. Like, that was the main reason why I actually bought it, because I've always appreciated the look of the console and the controllers.
And by the way, with collectability here, these amiibos here that I kind of just dispersed out throughout, each of these was $5. If you have a Five Below near you, check them out. They actually have some pretty decent amiibo.
Dude, I need to check it out, because I do have some I need to stock up on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got all these from there.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Anyways.
So, one more. You holding us down, Blue No. You holding us down. I don't think F-Zero will ever come to the Switch. We have been waiting for a GX sequel forever. It's hard to say. I haven't heard anything in particular, but I think the Switch would actually be a really good time to bring back an F-Zero.
I don't remember if it was you that told me, but you or someone told me that essentially Nintendo kind of said, like, hey, we're going to be bringing every major franchise we have to the Switch.
Yes.
And when people were asking Nintendo, like, hey, do you mean this? Do you mean this? And Nintendo just replied, like, look,
we are bringing
everyone.
Yeah.
So I think it is extremely possible to see a sequel to F-Zero on the Switch.
Well, and you look at the Wii U, right? Like, Nintendo knows the Wii U sales, and if they're investing in one of their main franchises, something that could take a lot of development, that they want to actually shine, that they want to actually prove itself in that franchise. The Wii U was not the best console for that. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
The Switch is...
The Wii U it was unfortunately a commercial failure in terms of Nintendo and console sales, this recent time in this millennium, in this decade even. And I mean, we've talked about it on here, but the people who get upset that games from the Wii U get remade on the Switch because they bought them on the Wii U, you all need to realize that, you bought the Wii U and you support Nintendo through that tough time, for sure, but you all are the minority of gamers. A lot of people had no idea a Smash came out between Brawl and Ultimate. Mm-hmm. A lot of people had no idea Mario Kart 8 was an old game when it came out on Switch.
And hopefully, people treat it like I did. Like, I did not ever feel any resentment with the Wii U whatsoever. In fact, like, when the Switch started popping off, we've talked about this, I felt proud. Mm-hmm. I felt like this sense of pride in the fact that it's like, I have bought every Nintendo console for years and years and years, and I am so happy that the Switch is doing well. I honestly don't care about your past failures, your past lack of releases or whatever. The Switch is a new opportunity, and it's doing well, and I'm super proud of it, and I think that they're going to capitalize on that.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And Nintendo's not the kind of company to actually capitalize on it and abuse it, right? Mm-hmm. And so maybe it's going to take another year for F-Zero to come out, maybe longer. Who knows?
I think longer, but I think we will see an F-Zero
I think so.
on the Switch.
And the Switch has the frame rate to like keep up with that kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like, everything is set up well for it.
I gotta say, the Switch is amazing for at its root, it is a mobile device.
Well, yes.
It's amazing for
and
what it is.
And obviously Nintendo caters towards not going too realistic, you know what I mean? They know how to like craft their games for their console. I think that's a specialty they have. Mm-hmm. But when I play with people who have never really experienced a Switch, and then I undock that thing and hand it to them, they are blown away every time.
Yeah.
There is never this game looks crappy and like why would I want to play this on the go? It's like, wow, this game is really good.
It's
and
because the art style looks very nice too.
Yeah.
So games like F-Zero, Mario Kart, Mario Tennis, Mario Party. I keep saying all these Mario games, but
first party stuff.
Yeah, all these games, the art style just looks so nice. Meanwhile, there's going to be games that look realistic. That those ones don't look as nice.
Which I haven't played like Skyrim or something like that, and I really want to do.
Well, Skyrim never looked good.
No. But
Doom
I mean,
definitely takes a hit. I know that. I'm
Oh.
playing through Wolfenstein 2 right now on Switch. I mean, my thoughts so far, it's Wolfenstein 2 on mobile platform, but
yeah, it's like playing it on your phone a little bit.
It's a really cool tech demo.
Yeah.
But when people are just like, "Oh my god, it is just as good," I'm like, "Stop lying to everyone."
Well, and it's like, I thought Fortnite coming out on Switch was great. I'm not the biggest Fortnite player. I actually haven't played it in months.
I've still never played Fortnite.
I played with my family a little bit for a couple months, and I would totally get back into it with them if we just got into the groove. You know what I mean? I don't hate Fortnite, but I don't love it either. But I did notice, playing on my PC and whatnot, which is... It's not the most powerful thing in the world, but it's definitely like a pretty reasonable friggin' PC. When I played it on the Switch, I immediately noticed things like the view distance was abysmal and various other things were just not cutting it. The frame rate was dropping. So yes, the Switch does have some limitations, but that's also where I think that like Nintendo highlights things and actually like makes, especially if you get some of their first party stuff, not that you have to stick with that, but you get some of those good games, you're going to see why the Switch is great and no one's going to like question it. Mm-hmm. All right, what are you cracking up about? You look like you had a smirk.
Dude, I was going to say something and I forgot.
Dang it. You can't do that.
I'm sorry.
I shouldn't have even said anything.
But Zach is saying here the Ark port shoddy. Oh my god. Dude, have you seen Ark Survival Instinct on Switch?
No.
Devin.
What is that?
This game. Okay, so this game, it's like, it's kind of...
Wait, like, oh yeah, okay, I know Ark. Yeah, okay, yeah,
It looks like Jurassic Park on Switch. Dude,
yeah.
Dude, this game, Digital Foundry did an amazing video on it. The native resolution, it goes down to as low as 304 by 140p. Games 30 years ago, I'm not exaggerating, games 30 years ago ran at higher native resolutions.
Wait, what do you mean can? What do you mean? You said can?
It has a variable native resolution.
So as you're playing, depending on like how intensive the game is?
Correct, yeah. Because it stays at about a 29, 30 frame per second frame rate, but the game is so poorly optimized that it has to drop down to resolutions that are lower than like the Mega Drive or the Master System.
Well, and I was going for PSP resolution.
Oh no, baby.
Dude,
oh no.
That's way worse than that.
Yeah, and especially it's a 3D. It's not like playing Super Mario World or somewhere it's a nice, 2D sprite-based game. This is a 3D game. It's bad.
Wow, man.
Well, it's very bad.
I appreciate the technology of the variable resolution to an extent.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. That seems like maybe it's less complicated than I realize. I'm not a game developer by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, it's kind of funny. I wanted to be one for a while.
I think everyone wanted to at one point.
And then I got into like just... I don't know what you call it, like app-oriented or utility-oriented development or just like enterprise development, right? Mm-hmm. And I really found my love in that, and I just fell so hard out of game development. It was just not my thing.
Speaking of development, here's one thing Seth has actually asked us a few times, and I think this is a good educational thing here.
All right.
But he's saying, first off, thank you for answering my question. I really appreciate it. We appreciate you. I'm not really a beginner because I'm in my second year of college. Is there any advice you could give when it comes to object-oriented programming and algorithms? This is a Devin question.
Oh, man. I don't know, man. Honestly, like experience. I'm sure there are people out there that could give you like certain books or something like that. And I know I have a couple on my mind that I could probably like dig out, but I'm not thinking of anything at the moment that like I have a couple books in my head. But honestly, the biggest thing is just, first of all, projects, personal projects, whether it's recreating a to-do list, recreating an app that you want, making a new app that's, somewhat facilitates your needs in some shape or form, do that. And if you can either study...
like make tools, you're saying.
Yeah, and you can remake the tools that you want to use. If they're simple enough, like, dude, like, make it yourself. go if you are an anal person about calculating your gas mileage, right? You don't have a gas mileage thing in your car. Make yourself a gas mileage app. It's going to be simple. But take that and continue doing those things until things get more complicated. I would say I don't have a book or a particular website or recommendation for like object-oriented programming specifically, but there's so much content out there that you can get that. It's not difficult. And the next step is actually putting it into practice, because object-oriented programming is definitely like trying to take real-world representation of objects into programming, right? So I think practice makes perfect there. Keep up on the projects, and not only is that going to make you a better coder, it's going to give you a lot more experience, but you're going to also have a portfolio. Keep your GitHub up to date. Keep doing that. Employers really like you to be actively coding. It's not a requirement, but when you do that, that is going to give you a huge leg up on the competition.
Absolutely.
So really just hone that stuff in, and if you can, find some interest in some open source project, whether it's studying commits, and not every open source project is going to do like commits or like even code exactly as you would, or what you find ideal, or what anyone might find perfect, but be involved in the open source community, even if it's just observationally. It could be because there's a lot of really, really good stuff. And, a lot of times in open source, you find a lot more rigor in these projects because there are people that are owning it, and there are a lot of contributors, and the owners want the contributors to conform to some of their standards. They're not going to accept crap code. You may have a pull request that's like a really good base. Like, hey, I like your idea here. You're doing some good stuff, but you need to fix your white space. You need to do this. You need to actually rewrite your code here, and maybe a comment would work because your freaking code is so complicated that no one can understand it at face value. I don't know.
Commenting is always good.
You can over comment.
That's possible, sure, but
but yes, typically,
I'd rather someone over comment than under comment.
When you work,
I would as someone who doesn't know code that much, sure. I would rather someone over comment than under comment.
If you're going into the enterprise world, if you're going into like a real professional world, I would say commenting is really important when your code. If code's self-explanatory, which is hard because obviously people are different experience levels, but if you feel like if you go back to look at your code and you have to look at it for a second to understand what you were doing and why, that's where a comment is valuable.
Now, the thing is, well, too, and it's interesting what you're saying with the coding world. I know of someone who, I'm pretty sure he has like some production code running in airplanes and GPS systems and all that stuff, and he was telling me that with those systems, they have to be very particular. Like, for example, they have to have certain things in certain colors, and they can't use red for certain other messages. They can use green for some other things. And in those, they actually, because every single thing has to be calculated and has to be optimized the best it can, for some of their programs, they cannot write comments. They simply can't, just by standard.
That's interesting. That makes no sense to me.
It's just they can't have anything else bogging down any sort of resource ever.
Yeah. So X41, again, good friend of the show. He very respectable coder, very respectable even hardware hacker here.
We got his mod chips.
Yeah, dude.
We got his mod chips.
I mean, I respect his opinion very much. Oh God, yes, I can't stress personal projects enough. People always ask for books and tutorials and stuff to learn, but there is no better way to learn than to write a really shitty tool and learn as you hit a bump and have to Google shit. Yes, that also teaches you how to properly Google shit, which is like 80% of coding. When I started coding, because I had there was no mentor, right?
Right.
Right,
and you weren't taking classes or anything on it.
I was
either.
trying to memorize as much code and as much stuff as possible, and I didn't actually work in an IDE. So for people who don't know,
were you writing in Notepad then?
Yes,
and then compiling.
Notepad++ was the first one. I was on Windows at the time. I hadn't gotten to the Linux world.
Before. So at least it was Notepad++ as opposed to Notepad.
Sure, yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a freaking...
By the way, that is one of my top tweets. I had said on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter if you haven't already.
Notepad++.
Yeah, I said I said something along the lines of, you cannot trust someone who prefers Notepad over Notepad++.
That's true. I can't trust someone who uses Windows over Linux. Oh! Oh,
that hurts.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just joking, man.
Says the person
Different
with the
strokes.
Mac.
Hey. It runs Bash, at least natively.
It does.
Okay.
It does. I think Windows has that now too, though, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it's a weird thing.
It's a weird thing, but it has Bash.
Windows subsystem for Linux kind of sucks, donkey, but you know what I mean? That's another thing. I don't know. I've dabbled. I've tried. I tried to go back to Windows, actually. I told you about this a little bit. I tried to, like, use Windows, like, exclusively for everything for a little bit.
I think, yeah, you told me.
And it was rough. But that is because I am used to Bash and Linux and that whole world. Yeah, it was rough.
Sure.
But yeah, seriously, so what I was getting at is that I used to really focus on trying to, like, study things and memorize code. You get into IDEs outside of Notepad++ because it's not an IDE, but like a good IDE, you know, most commonly these days, I use JetBrains software, so like IntelliJ.
JetBrains has good stuff.
Yeah, PyCharm, stuff like that. I really like it. They have free software. Some of it's paid. Some people want to only use free IDEs. I really like their products personally, and you get stuff like basically autocomplete where you're typing code and it starts completing it for you, and you can hit tab and finish it out. So don't be too worried about being super focused on memorizing every piece of code you possibly can. Get used to Googling, get used to researching, get used to using other people's code, whether it's a library or some advice. Criticize everything, just like everything else in life. I think it's good to like really like
question.
Yeah, question everything. That's what I was trying to get at. Yeah. So, don't take everything for face value. Try not to like copy too many like commands and post them in your terminal and just run random crap on your system. But, it really is so much of your job is going to be.
That's actually, this getting into something a little bit personal, but that was one thing that was kind of an issue at work where I work with databases and such, and we had several, from higher levels, we had people complaining that there were several coworkers I had that were pushing out database queries and things like that and letting loose database queries to people to use, and they didn't understand. So like you would okay, you're the better coder here, but let's say like I give someone a database query, then you pull me aside, you're just like, yo, Mr. Mario, what does this do? And I'm just like, I don't know. I read this thing that says this is what you have to run to fix it. And they were saying like, you need to understand these queries if you're going to give them out to people. If you don't understand this, you need to understand it first, and you need to figure out what it does, and then you give it out to someone based on if you think it will help or not. But if you don't know what it does, do not do that. You're giving someone a loaded gun.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen this, but even outside of database queries, just terminal commands, whether it's command prompt on Windows, whether it's a terminal on Linux or Mac, those things, depending on what you do, especially if you do anything with sudo or sudo, however you...
I say sudo.
I say sudo too, but it's super user do.
Okay.
Did
Super user do. I did not know that.
So the part of me wants to say sudo because it sounds way better in my opinion, but sudo, I get it.
I got
But
you.
anyways, those things can mess up your system.
They can.
They really can. They can like mess up your computer. So you're trying to learn how to code and you copy and paste some rando thing, and it doesn't even have to be malicious, but hey, those things are messing with your system. You never know.
Absolutely.
So be careful with that stuff. Question everything, and yeah.
Be careful. Yeah. I want to answer this question here by Jake Friedel. I believe that's how I say your name, or Friedel. Did you have any mod videos pulled like Skeletor did? I did not, because I had this as a topic that I was going to talk about. I took it off, but we can talk about it here anyways. For anyone that does not know, Skeletor is another YouTuber. I think he had about just over 30,000 subscribers. So he was really well known for his PS3, Vita, PS4, and Switch-related modding tutorials. And he had gotten a few copyright strikes from Nintendo, and he was able to resolve them. And then they end up becoming community guideline strikes for the same videos. And then they ended up, he would appeal them, and they would disappear, and they would come back. And then he would appeal them, and they would disappear, and then they would come back. And then they started becoming circumvention of technological measures, community guideline strikes, which we talked about with some of the hacking and reverse engineering channels on last month's episode. In short, unfortunately, he ended up getting 3 of those. His channel was terminated. I've actually been in personal contact with him, and I myself and It's Lupo are trying to help him get his shit back. We're trying to, because we don't want to see anyone like that go down. Absolutely not. But One piece of good news, I'm actually going to show it here on the screen. If you go to bitshoot.com, you look up Skulltor, just look up Skulltor BitChute. He has all of his videos, or most of them, re-uploaded on here, and I believe he's going to be doing his, new uploads from now on onto here. So if you are needing his videos, if you need that Skulltor fix, you can definitely check them out on BitChute. That would be the place to find him. So, Skulltor, I absolutely wish you the best, my dude. I really hope you get your channel back. Again, I'm in personal contact with him as well, too, with that. So, we've been trying. But if you need your Skulltor fix, if you're a public consumer, BitChute is his new area where he's putting stuff out on. So,
No, I've never heard of BitChute. There's so many different YouTube competitors that are popping up in the last year. It's wild, and I'm sure there's always.
It essentially it kind of has it uses blockchain to get stuff on there.
Oh,
and then
wow! So it's like
it utilizes the blockchain, and then the videos are essentially peer to peer.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a bunch of those that have been coming out lately. Actually, that's really cool.
Yeah. So good shit. Oh, man, let me see here. I think that other one was answered on here. I know Zach here is saying, dang, I haven't heard about Lupo in a long-ass time. Zach, I got a surprise for you. Check out my other podcast, Mario's Minute. I have a podcast that released a few months ago with It's Lupo. So we stayed friends to this day. He's doing well. He's absolutely doing well.
I also want to point out how, several people just made fun of me for my sudo shit.
Oh,
at least a couple here. I see a pseudo wudo. Sudo woo.
Sudo woo.
Yeah, no, it's internet speak is weird, guys.
Sudoku.
We're nerds. We're not used to talking. Okay.
I used to say Ubuntu, but apparently
you that dude.
Apparently the proper way to say it is Ubuntu.
Ubuntu, yeah.
Ubuntu.
That's how I've always said it. But I've heard Ubuntu, Ubuntu, Ubuntu.
If you told me that, I would respect it, and I still do. Don't get me wrong. But the chick who told me, she wasn't even a developer or a Linux user by any means. She was dating someone who was a developer, and she was one of those people who was very much a ride coattails person. She's like, "Oh yeah, no, I've been to Kickstarter headquarters, and oh yeah, I've met the creators of Ubuntu, and they get so mad if you don't say it properly." I'm like, I'm not gonna say her name. I'm just like, girl, stop name dropping. Stop it.
Yeah, right. I mean, hey, I've been around the block. It's been a minute. I got that clout. X41. Oh, I wasn't paying attention for a second. What was that about? Steam or IPFS stuff? No, I actually have been crap. I'm drawing a blank on the freaking website, but I used to, for a little bit, I was uploading my videos to I'm drawing a blank.
DTube?
Was it DTube? Yeah, it was DTube. So I was uploading my videos to there, but we were talking about BitChute.
That was it. Steam.
Yeah. Well, Steemit was like the social networking thing. So it was not for videos.
To DTube and then share it to Steemit.
Right.
Yeah.
So no, we were talking about BitChute, which according to Mr. Mario here is also blockchain based. I think more of these are going to be coming out. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it'd be.
I have a BitChute account as well too, so check me out on BitChute.
Nice. So that's what we were talking about. IPFS is really cool if you've never heard about it. If it's actually I
have not.
It's God, I need to look more into it, but it's this weird it's literally an IPFS. It's a file system that's based off of internet shit and being I don't know. I need to look more into it. It sounds fascinating. I don't even really want to talk about it that much, but from the little that I've heard about it, it sounds really fascinating. Research the IPFS yourself, and maybe we'll talk about it again some other time. But there's a lot of really cool distributed technologies that are coming out in the spark of Bitcoin and blockchain stuff that aren't based around Bitcoin, but I think distributed technologies like that are really cool.
Just the tech behind it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's really cool stuff, and I'd love to see more of that coming out. David here says, Mr. Mario and I challenged Devin to do a video once a month for the New Year thing. I have my last one coming out soon.
Awesome.
It's not going to happen the next year.
Devin, how has so now that we're nearing the end of the year, how has the video a month challenge been for you?
I mean, it's been good and bad, right? So
I'm really happy that you did stick to it. I know technically you didn't upload every month. There was 1 month you did not upload.
Yeah, there was a little bit of mislining where like I had to double up and make up for it. But basically by the end of this, I want 12 videos on my channel for 1 year, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it came down to. I do not accept like fully succeeding the challenge by any means, but you know, I try to keep with it in stride for what I had going for it. You know what I mean? And so like, it's fun. It was a good time, but I have realized that I want to do this more on my own time. All right, beer fingers over here.
Devin, come out and play.
Oh my gosh.
I can't do the thing they did in the Warriors.
See, thankfully, like for people who drink liquor, like I didn't put down that much here. Like, look at the bottle. Like, this is not. It didn't make that much of a dent.
This is the first time I've actually drunk in months.
The first time he's drunk.
The
first time he's drunk the beers.
This might be the first time I've been drunk this year, to be honest.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've been a good boy, man.
Hey man, solid high five. Elbows. Oh, that's good. That's a good one. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. But you know, I want to. I want to do it more on my own time, and I'm going to continue uploading YouTube videos as I feel the need. Sure. It's not something I want to create any kind of, you know, even like revenue out of. You know, if that came, that would be so secondary, right? But so I enjoy it, but I want to do it when I feel like I want to do it, and the time pressure has been a little bit annoying. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? Like there's been inconvenient times, and part of it is because I hadn't planned enough. Like if I would have like started working on the video maybe like before the 10th of the month, right? But usually like I procrastinate and it gets a little later, and then stuff comes up. And
Dude, do you remember how difficult it was to get your first video uploaded?
Dude, you were there. He was there.
January 31st, I had to go over to Devin's place, and I told him, I was like, I am not going to leave until we get this video uploaded.
And we did.
And we were we were so tired by the end of it.
No, but like
so long.
You give me the daps, bro, because you definitely made that happen, and you definitely set the precedent for me to be able to do it for the rest of the time, right?
Yep.
Like I could have gotten through basic video editing. In fact, like when I was younger, I used to record some skate videos, and we do basic video editing in Windows Movie Maker. Mm-hmm. And remember, that's actually what I was like, dude, can I just like bust out the Windows Movie Maker real quick? That shit doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Like you have to go find like a weird old copy.
You can't even find the Windows Live Essential package officially from Microsoft. You have to go elsewhere to download the Windows Live Essential package, and then open that to select Windows Live Movie Maker to install.
So like, yeah, we ended up having to go different routes or whatever, but you definitely set up the precedent for that. Could appreciate it more. And even though like I wonder if like I would have been, you know, like because he was literally there. Like at one point, like
I was there for like 5 or 6 hours,
and you were like turned around while I was recording, just trying to like be there but not like look at me. Yeah. And I wonder if like I would have had less pressure, but I did think that like it worked out well, and it was much appreciated, and I think it like
we uploaded it like an hour or two before the deadline.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but then you got up on your feet, and then I remember like you would text me sometimes, just like, "Okay, dude, I just finished recording all the raw video," and then like 20 minutes later, you're like, "Cool, it's uploading now." Yeah, I'm like, "What the fuck, dude? That's so fast."
Yeah. No, so like I have a weird thing because I do feel like I've advanced a lot, especially if I guess for the number of videos that I've put out for the year, right? But I also see people that have like not been on YouTube that long, or like have it progressed a lot more rapidly. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like, you know, I've seen people that like haven't been on YouTube as long, or their quality ramp up was more dramatic.
You also straight up told me, you said that it's not a hobby that you would see yourself fully pursuing. No. And for me, YouTube and all this stuff, this is a hobby.
Right. And like I do have other hobbies. I like to like, you know, yeah, it's not, I want to say it's not a hobby, but I want it to be more than secondary. Sure. I want to be able to go and express myself and have like the least path of resistance to actually getting my content out to you guys in a way that's not unbearable, but like I don't feel the need to make my videos dramatically better every time. I don't feel like the need to really step it up, but I want to make it better, but not.
The thing is too, just with video making, it's a lot like working out or any type of exercise. Just the more you do it, you're gonna get better at it. It's gonna be easier. So like the first time you make a video, you're gonna put in 100% effort, and it's probably gonna be shit. And then the 200th video you'll make, you could put in 20% effort and it will be so much better than
Yep.
the first video you
Oh, yeah.
ever made. Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. It's just it's practice. But one thing I did tell Devin before, I was like, dude, you're on the podcast. Because the only other things you really have are like your Instagram and your Twitter. I was like, I would love it if you use this as a springboard to boost up yourself to do anything else. Because this would be great, and I know there's people who want to, know more about you, follow any type of
Dude,
content.
every single
whatever
podcast
it
that we've
is.
ever done, I have gotten more subscribers.
Awesome.
Every single one.
Awesome.
Like literally, it's month after month. It's blown my mind. And yeah, and it feels great. And I love talking with you guys. And the comments that I have right now are, like usually like I've heard so few people being like total dicks in my comments. Like it's really like constructive stuff.
That's awesome.
And it's so
you get
great.
you get a lot of love from the ModChat.
Yeah,
scene.
totally.
Yeah.
And so it's great to hear from people and like I'd have those conversations. That's what I want because one of the reasons why we became friends was literally because it's like I don't know anyone who's into this shit.
That's true.
And like we became friends like by weird happenstance. I mean,
you reached out to me
Right.
and then we met up and all that, and then I remember we like dumped our live stories onto each other in like 3 hours, and that was a fun time. So.
But
yeah,
I don't know. It's just weird how things work out, man.
absolutely. But it worked out very well. Now, one thing we're I would say we're winding down a little bit here.
Yeah.
There's one last thing I want to talk about here. And by the way, I'm totally feeling what you felt a year ago. Where like I've encouraged people just check out last December's episode of ModChat.
Oh man,
With knowing that Devin was under the influence, because I was tired during that, and Devin by the end you're just like, oh man, I could do this all day. This is great.
So we're doing.
I'm feeling that right now, but I also really need to pee.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yes.
If you want to explain that, I'm gonna go pee.
Sure. I'll give a quick lowdown. So basically, last year. On the ModChat episode, the day of, I had a coworker who was quitting. That it was like his last day, right? And in those situations, we celebrate that stuff, right? We really appreciate the coworkers who have stuck through us and put in their work and whatnot. And so we went out to a local arcade bar and had some drinks. And there was a good number of people that showed up. It was a great time, and I knew I was doing the podcast, so I had a couple drinks, had a good time. It was probably we started probably about 4 p.m. and it's the ModChat starts at 7 p.m. So that's a good 3 hours, right? So I'm like, we're good here. So I had a couple drinks and whatnot, and then near the end of that, my coworker that was leaving kind of was like, "Hey, you offered me a shot earlier. Can I take you up on that?" And yeah, so one thing led to another, and basically, if you know how alcohol works, sometimes it takes a little bit to process that stuff. So I left shortly after taking my last drink. Got here nice and safely, and then while we were doing the podcast, the alcohol was flowing through me, and I got a little more intoxicated than I wanted to. It's very situational, you know what I mean? Wouldn't recommend it to most people, the situation, especially going on a podcast, but, it happens. And I got a little... It was a multi-stage thing. Like, we started out, felt great. As the podcast went on, I could feel the alcohol flowing and kind of getting foggy. By the end of it, I was super chill. And now the tables have turned. I'm chilling, and Mr. Mario is definitely feeling the vibes. So it's kind of funny how those things work out. So as Mr. Mario returns here, maybe should we do one more question?
Dude, my pee was so clear. Oh my god, it's just the alcohol going straight through me.
Man, you're not used to it, man. It's okay.
Right.
Patience, young dress
All
drinker.
right, what was the last question that you were going
So,
to was it about the Sonic movie or?
Ooh.
Because if it wasn't that, then we got to do 2 questions because we need to talk about the Sonic movie. But
Yes.
what was the one that you were thinking?
Two questions. Second one. Okay, let's do this one first. Are modded Wii's even worth it anymore?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah.
Hell yeah. They're so cheap as well, too. You can find one at a thrift store.
Love my Wii.
For like $20, and then you can find an SD card for really cheap.
And you don't need the browser anymore.
Cables for like $5 or $10.
I mean, mine is, but the homebrew browser doesn't work. You don't need the homebrew browser anymore. You've got exploits around all that, right? Like, as far as I know.
Technically, you don't need the browser, because...
the homebrew browser. No, I thought I was thinking the regular browser.
Well, no. Homebrew browser is still absolutely valuable, but I mean, there's even that thing like STR2 hacks, I believe, which is what we talked about on the last episode, and you could just do that through a DNS redirect. So
Mm-hmm.
it's beautiful. Yeah, I would
Yes.
recommend that anyone has a Wii to mess with, because the Wii sold so well. It sold over 100 million. You can go to any thrift store and sneeze and find one. All right, and the virtual console on there is awesome. It has really nice games on it as well too. Like for the Wii, has some really good first party stuff. You can get one that has backwards compatibility with the GameCube, and if it doesn't, you can put that back in with Nintendo. It's great. It's definitely a good like baby's first modded system.
So as far as the Sonic movie, leg day,
Oh my goodness,
leg day.
the Sonic movie.
You know, I'm not gonna hold my judgment, or I'm gonna hold my judgment until like the actual movie comes out. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not the biggest Sonic fan.
I don't know how this is gonna be good.
I'm not the biggest Sonic fan in the world, but I do have some nostalgia there, and I would like to see it do well.
I didn't have nostalgia for Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik.
Is he?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, he's not fat enough.
I have faith in Jim Carrey.
I mean, I do too, but
I do.
I'm expecting like I need like a big fat motherfucker for Dr. Robotnik.
Like Danny McBride.
No, bigger.
Bigger?
Bigger.
Mm.
Yeah.
I feel like Danny McBride would do a good Dr. Robotnik, kind of.
I guess he would, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe Danny DeVito?
Danny DeVito would have been a good Dr. Robotnik.
He would have been a good
Danny
Pikachu.
DeVito should have been the
Detective Pikachu.
He should have just been the Nintendo movie person in general. He could have been a great Detective Pikachu. He could have been a great Dr. I guess this is Sega, but he could have been a great Dr. Robotnik. Dan DeVito could have been in there for all this video game stuff, but unfortunately we're just going to know him as Man Spider.
What?
Man Spider.
Is that from Sunny?
Yeah, from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I haven't seen
It's
that.
not Spider-Man. He went to like one Halloween as Man Spider.
I haven't seen that episode.
I think that's like the only episode I've seen.
Really? I've seen a decent bit like early on. Always Sunny, but yeah, I haven't caught up because they're still making shows. From what I heard, someone told me recently. I was like, dang man,
they truly are. Absolutely.
X41 says, "Give us DeVito."
Give us. That's what I'm saying. Man.
Hashtag man.
That's
Hashtag
what I'm
shit.
saying. Yeah.
Castlevania games, real quick. We're probably gonna maybe like end the last one here. I love the new line of game consoles from Soulja Boy. How about you guys? Rewatch the episode.
I was coming here. I was about to talk about the Soulja Boy Bow Wow mixtape that dropped, I think, earlier this year. I listened to a little.
What?
I listened to a little bit of it.
I heard Bow Wow was trying to like do a damn thing, but
he was trying to. I mean, he was trying to. It exists. Soulja Boy Bow Wow mixtape. It exists. Yeah. I don't know. I'm more fucks with the Soulja Boy Lil.
If you're on
Wayne
audio,
mixtape. Pretty Boy Millionaires.
If you're on audio only, man, I got that cringe face. Like, my teeth are baring, my face is scrunched.
Tag Media is saying Drunk Mr. Mario is just about my favorite thing ever. I'm happy I can really provide some.
The tables have turned.
The tables, absolutely. Yeah, because now I'm in the mood of, I could do this for 4 more hours.
Yeah.
And you're sitting here like, no.
I don't even have to work tomorrow, but I'm trying to relax. You know what I'm saying?
I'm feeling good, though. I'm feeling good. But
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
I'm not getting any more beer. I finished up my damn water, unfortunately.
Oh,
man.
I'm just about done with the water. I had capped off a while ago. I'm in a good spot.
Yeah. It's interesting, though. I'm just saying, when David, he's explained this as, like, getting pissed, and that's something I've noticed in in Europe, where there was, like, getting drunk will be, like, getting pissed there.
Man,
but over here, it's like getting pissed is getting really angry. Like, when people are saying getting pissed, I'm like, I don't think of drunk. I think of anger.
No, yeah. I mean, like, please clarify that unless they're like, he's just feeling merry. So, like, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, yes.
Absolutely.
I'm freaking pissed.
Yeah. No, yeah. There's feeling merry. There's happy holidays, guys, all this stuff. As someone, I'm going to say this. As someone who was raised for a bit and was, for a little bit, a practicing Muslim, Merry Christmas.
He said it. He said it.
I said it. Merry Christmas.
Cheers, y'all. I mean, I'm on the Merry Christmas boat too, but you know what I mean? I'm like, try to be like, PC a bit. So cheers.
Man, we're too PC sometimes.
Yeah, dude.
I I don't know. Someone brought up a good point where like the "Baby It's Cold Outside" thing, that song is now, it's all offensive and can take off that air. And I understand it's a little bit creepy, right? If you look into the lyrics. At the same time, we have much worse songs on the radio.
PC stands for pissing me the crap off. No, but yeah, no. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, people. It was. This has been a good freaking chat.
This has been a awesome way to end ModChat.
Hashtag
fun.
Table
I'm
chat.
gonna sleep very well because I have not been sleeping well for the past 2 nights.
Dude, man, cheers. Yeah.
Cheers to empty glass, man. Can I have some of your water?
Yeah, dude.
Thank you.
This homie just copped my water. It's
Oh
actually.
my God, that's
I guess
so
it's
good.
technically your water.
Yeah.
But you want the last hit?
Yeah,
man?
I do. Actually, I'm thirsty.
I seen it.
Oh my
I seen
God.
it in your eyes. You look for the audio listeners only. Looked at that glass longingly after he set it down.
Oh man, yeah. So I guess this is a very good point to wrap it up here.
I think
I'm
so.
so happy that I could still host while drunk. I didn't think I was gonna get drunk this episode, but I did.
Do you feel it?
Oh man, I
Dude.
feel it. Man, I feel it.
Just don't get the spins, man.
I don't have the spins.
Good,
I
good.
don't. Yeah, but I don't know about anyone else. I want to ask this question while we have a lot of people here live.
Yeah, man.
Does anyone else get what I call the HD touch? When you have enough you get enough alcohol in you.
You've told me this.
Yeah, and people don't believe me, but I have this thing where I get enough alcohol in me, and like you might have noticed, I've been kind of like touching my hands. I've been kind of touching these other things because all of a sudden, I start feeling more detail in everything I touch, and the only way I can describe it is like a high definition touch.
That HD touch.
And it's just when the right amount of alcohol hits,
God.
I get that HD touch in me.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but you know, it's cute. It's cute, Mr. Mario.
Appreciate it.
I'm sure somebody out there has HD touch too. You're not alone. It's been a while though.
Where did you get that water from, by the way?
The actual like fridge?
Oh, that's Oh, that's
What?
nasty.
What? That's like the usual recommended place.
Wait, no, the thing I have in there, like the
No, not the pitcher, like the actual thing out of the...
no.
Why don't you put a sign?
No.
That's where I
should.
always get the water.
No, because I was tasting a weird flavor, and baby, that's nasty. I'm very particular about my water.
I think I'm pretty whatever.
I'm very particular about my water.
Which is
Anyways,
funny. No, I was just
Devin,
gonna, no, shut.
where can people find you?
Oh man, you can find me on the Twitters. I'm always there. I try and hang out, but you can find me on Paranoid Coder. You can also find me on YouTube at the same handle, Paranoid Coder, no spaces, couple of capitals, but it doesn't matter these days.
Sure.
But yeah, that's about it these days. I'm just kind of chilling.
And I'm kind of all over the place. You look at Mr. Mario 2011. I'm available on Twitter, probably one of the better places to get a hold of me. Of course, here on YouTube as well. On Instagram, I have a BitChute, as we talked about, where all my videos get mirrored and all that fun stuff.
Ooh!
If you want to check out ModChat, again, we're kind of saying this at the end here, but the visual version is available on YouTube on my channel, Mr. Mario 2011.
Yes.
The podcast, well, the actual MP3 version is available pretty much everywhere except for Stitcher. I need to actually kind of get off my ass and make a Stitcher account and publish it on there. But it's available on most, not all of them, but most major podcasting platforms, including Spotify.
Even
I talked about that.
Spotify!
I put the shit on Spotify.
Now, I don't know anyone who listens to podcasts on Spotify personally, but if you do, let us know. I would actually like to hear, like, if you listen to our podcast on Spotify, let us know.
Yeah, and it makes me happy because we actually, I have to pay for hosting for the MP3 version, and it does make me happy when I see like a few hundred people are downloading the episodes.
Yeah.
Because that means that's money well spent.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, man.
It's just a sad time, man. I'm feeling it a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm happy I didn't say anything stupid on here. So that
You're good.
That was my biggest fear. I'm like, I hope I don't say anything stupid.
Yeah, I think
I
feel like I
cussed
fumbled
a little bit more. Somebody
I did
noted
notice
on,
that.
Yeah.
You're on that fuck shit today.
On that fuck shit, truly.
No, I feel like I even fumbled my words more, but you were obviously feeling it
Yeah.
pretty well, man. I'm
Oh,
proud
well.
of you.
Yeah. This time, for anyone who's watching the stream, I will remember to stop my stream on OBS and then wait like a few minutes to stop it on YouTube.
Right.
So y'all get the complete video file.
We're sorry about that last time.
I didn't know. I honestly didn't know about it. I thought it was gonna keep
Experimentations, man.
Truly experimentation. Absolutely. But yeah. And you know what, Devin? This is cool because this is the first stream we've had with a new setup. with the table,
With the
all
table,
the
man.
decorations, with the lighting, with the desktop and everything, with OBS. That everything has gone without a hitch.
Dude.
There's been no hiccups. And this stream's been going on for almost 3 hours.
It's ridiculous.
Truly.
Yeah, this was great, and honestly,
was.
we had a good chat. We had a good turnout. We had some good questions, so everything has fallen into line. What a way to round off the year!
What a way to round off the year, absolutely.
What a way to round off the year, guys!
I don't sound like that. What are you talking about?
Man, I wasn't making fun of you. That was just my natural voice.
Oh,
Hey, man, I'm the one who was drinking the liquor over here. Just don't look at. See, the audio listeners don't know how much I drank.
Of course.
How little I drank.
Of course.
No,
Yeah. I drank my apple juice. And just apple juice.
it was good, wasn't it?
It was. It was good.
There was peach juice in there. Don't lie.
For sure.
Anyways,
This is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. Thank you all for listening. Until next month, next year, technically. Thank you so much for coming out, enjoying ModChat with us, whether you're an audio-only listener, a pre-recorded version watcher, or if you're in the live stream. Awesome. But this has been such a fun episode of ModChat. It might have to do the same thing next December, I say.
I think so, man. I think
Yeah.
so. Anyways, happy holidays, guys.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Peace.
Peace.